Good morning, everyone. Happy Saturday.
Hi. Hold on a sec. I can't hear.
Oh.
Oh, there we go. Now I can hear. Ooh, you look pretty this morning.
What? Want to see Ginger? Okay, come here. Don't knock over mommy's coffee. Say hi.
Rick, no. Hi, Skylar.
Hold on.
Good morning. Good morning, Evelyn.
Good
morning.
morning. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay.
Can you hear us?
Yes.
Very good.
And I'm trying to think if I need to change my situation, but I think that's as good as it's going to get right now.
That looks perfect.
Yeah.
You've got the bright side and the dark side.
Hi. Hi.
Hi, Skylar.
That's Evelyn.
Hi, Evelyn.
Hi.
What are you doing today?
Right now, I'm getting drooled on by a dog. That's what I'm doing right now. Go.
Dogs and kids and cats. My cat.
Mhm.
Hello. Good morning.
Yeah, he just came over here and just.
You're amazing. Super sticker. Woo, woo.
Yes. Thank you, Dana. Good morning. Good morning. Okay.
Yes.
I'm gonna get my chat on so that I can see what everybody's saying.
Let's see. Let's do some hellos. Hi, Dana and Michelle. Good morning. And Barbara. Redneck Crafter. Interesting name. Hi, Barbara. Again, Whisper. And Michelle again. And hi, Gina. Welcome in. Isla. Good morning. Oh, that's funny, Michelle. All day yesterday, I kept wondering how I missed all of the lives until my daughter told me it was Friday.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
It's better to be too early than too late, right?
True. Oh, thanks very much. I look fancy. I know. I put makeup and actually coordinated, and it's freezing here. That's why I have a sweater on.
And that's why your lips are blue.
No, because I love the Dollar Tree. And look at this gem I found at the Dollar Tree. Oh yes.
Whoa!
Super
Knock
excited.
your socks off. I love that stuff.
Super excited.
That's awesome.
I would wear lipstick, except every time I put on lipstick, I look like a kid trying to put on mom's makeup. It's just no good.
That's how I feel.
So my makeup usually looks like this or nothing. It's like a little extreme or nothing. It's probably because the only place I ever really did makeup was clubbing.
Was where?
Clubbing.
Oh.
Dancing. I don't know how to do subtle, like makeup. It's like, oh, look, you have makeup on, or you're not wearing any.
Yeah.
Well, I never had to wear makeup. I never wore makeup until I got older. And I was like, oh, well, maybe there is a practical reason for makeup. Let me see. Let me have some eyes now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, usually just a little mascara is good for me.
I never put mascara on, ever.
Really?
Really?
My whole life.
Yeah, my eyelashes are super blonde. And so when I put mascara on, it's like, oh, I actually have them. Oh, wow, look, they're so long.
Yeah, my daughter's very self-conscious because she's like, why can't people see my eyebrows? Because they're like blonde. I'm like, they're there, honey. You can feel them. Don't worry.
It's all right. They're there.
Yeah, they don't need to know that they're there. It's your little secret.
Oh. Whisperer says she wants to talk Evelyn into dyeing yarn.
No, me and Matt just had this conversation, and I mean, I want to try it at some point, I think that would be really cool. It's just figuring out, yeah, it's that starting, it's that jumping in and being like, okay, we're just going to do it.
Right. And finding the time to do it too.
Yeah.
Because you've got lots of stuff going on, it looks like. And
yeah, usually.
Hi,
Okay, I'm going to turn this way. We're going to try this. I feel like it's too bright.
What? Okay. Be back in 1 second.
Okay. I am right here. Let's see. Hey, Froggy went a knitting.
Let's see if that's better. Oh, that's a little better.
Oh, yeah.
A little more even on my face.
The dark side's lighter.
Yeah.
Hey, Tammy and Jamie. And then there were 3. I know, right? It's fun to see 3 here in the morning.
Yeah.
So what does everybody have in their cup this morning? Before we get to the real stuff that we're talking about, let's get to some real stuff here. The caffeine level must be high.
I would think so.
Lacey says she wished her eyebrows were blonde. They drive her crazy.
Amped coffee.
Amped coffee. Dana, you were drinking that yesterday, weren't you?
Is that a type of coffee?
Huh?
Is that a type of coffee?
I think so. I've never tried it before.
Or is it amped up with caffeine? Like, extra shots?
Maybe a little bit of both. Oh, let's see. Isla is drinking decaf with non-milk stuff. Oh my gosh. I don't know if I can drink decaf. I just don't know.
I do if it's an after dinner drink. So sometimes if it's like people who have coffee after dinner.
Yeah.
Like my father-in-law drinks coffee after dinner a lot. So I'll have a decaf sometimes.
I'm one of those kind of people that can drink fully caffeinated coffee and go straight to bed.
Yeah. Sometimes I would try that, like in college, I would try to drink coffee to keep me awake and I would still go to bed. And my body was like, no, too used to it. Go to bed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's true to size. Look at my head.
It's a coffee cup the size of her head.
Yeah.
I couldn't find any of my sheep cups or anything this morning, so I had to use my hubby's cup. It's okay. With kids, 3 kids in the house that are driving, and my husband drives and I drive. We all have our own cars. The coffee cups all go to separate cars. I don't know if...
Oh, I could never have an open cup in my car. I would spill it in 5 seconds.
Really? Oh, I have the balancing.
I'm super accident prone like that. I'm the one that's like, I just put this shirt on. I already got food on it. Oh, well.
Yeah. No, I can drink an open cup.
I mean,
anytime.
Open cup at home, just not in the car. I know I'm going to spill it.
I've got the natural movements down. Hey, Granny D and Erica. It looks like everybody's coming in. This is so exciting. Good morning.
Hey, Jen, good morning again. Super excited about starting Call the Midwife in 2 weeks. Woo, woo, woo. Super excited.
I'm having to do a handy dandy swipe up on my stories to tell people to come join us. They can just swipe up to join.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. I almost sent them the StreamYard link. Like, oh, nope, not that link. Nope.
There would be
no.
I'd be like, there's a lot of people waiting on the backstage to join the show.
There'd be a lineup of little faces.
We were just talking about that yesterday.
Yeah, sometimes people get surprises when they put an open StreamYard link out there.
Yeah.
And they're not good.
Nope.
Because not all people are to be trusted.
Yeah.
that you don't know.
Mhm.
All of our Yarnie friends are trustworthy, though.
Mhm.
Yeah. I've had so much great luck with this community. Like I feel like this community in general has just been so supportive and so,
Mhm.
just lovely. Everybody's so sweet. I mean, I feel like there's a little bit of drama here and there, but I think that
Mhm.
comes with anything, but it's not enough to be like, "Oh man, like I don't know if I like this anymore." Like it's just, it draws you back in and
Yeah.
it's great.
Yeah. Yeah, there are so many
Hey,
nice people.
special shout out to Ellen B.
Oh, yeah, Ellen B made this all possible.
Mhm. Yay, Ellen!
Yay, Ellen!
I love her little picture is a Granger cardigan.
Oh, I thought that was one of hers.
Nice.
So pretty.
Oh, awesome.
Very pretty.
Oh, I've got to show you. I've got two halfway done dobbies right here. Let me show you the one. This one I'm most of the way done with.
You
I've
got
got
is that
everything.
the Heartland?
Yeah, this is the Heartland, and I've got everything done except for one arm. So if I show you this side, it's like I'm done.
Very
Yeah.
cute.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's nice.
I love the way the hood is.
Yeah, I know it's a little big.
I know. Let me get centered here, but I love it.
Yeah.
And this side is, of course, the one that I'm not done with. Because I have more of this yarn, I just need to find it.
It kind of made like a pixie hood. They're
Yeah.
very pointy. But I was like, I'll leave it that way. It's kind of cute.
Yeah, it's very cute.
I love that because you can put your hair
Well, if it's Dobby,
and
it's
still covers.
yeah. Yeah. It's like magical creatures,
Mhm.
little special things.
Hi, Reggie. Good morning.
Thanks, Maribel. Yeah, and you guys, for any of you that didn't hear yesterday, you can go on to Evelyn's website, Pink Sheep Design, and she has this pattern up there for free.
Mhm.
And she has tons of other awesome patterns.
And all of Evelyn's links are in the description box down below. I have your Instagram, your Facebook group, your YouTube channel, which I suggest everybody hops over and subscribes to Evelyn.
I'll have more stuff coming soon.
She has really great series for those that don't have time to be sitting reading that I listened to when I was commuting, which is she's taking her blog posts and making them into videos so that she can convey the information. You can listen to it that way. I thought that was a really great idea. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And of course, and your Etsy too, Etsy.
I'm a big fan of audiobooks. And so anything that can be read to me is much more preferred because your hand's got to be free for crocheting.
Yes. Well, and I've realized too, so yesterday or the day before, I don't remember when it was, but I went on and I've been going live on my lunch break. And usually I have an idea of what I want to talk about, which at that time it was kind of a review of a new yarn that I was working with. Mm-hmm. And it turned into like 45 minutes. So for people who like to just listen to people talking, I mean, I talked about a whole bunch of other stuff, but I was like, this should just go on YouTube. Because I mean, yes, I review yarn, but there's a whole bunch of other stuff that happens. And if you want to tune out after I stop talking about that yarn, great. But it's a great way. I feel like I'm getting to connect. And so, I can put it on YouTube too.
So you're going live on IGTV, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah. And I would love to go live on YouTube at some point too, just to try that out. It's like right now I feel like my audience is on Instagram. And so until I get some content and subscribers, but I think it'd be really fun to do both.
That's cool. What time do you normally do like a lunch break around?
12. So it's usually right around 12 o'clock Eastern time.
Yep.
Okay, that's good. That's good to know. I've seen your live pop up, but it was already after it was over. So well, I missed it again.
Yeah. And I'm on there for a while usually.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll be on the lookout for lunchtime.
Yeah.
Well, I did see you for a little bit last night on 3D printing live.
Yep. That was the captain. He was not on any social media at all until 2020 when the pandemic hit. He had started a drone business. And so we started him an Instagram for his drone business. And then once he got the 3D printer, he had kind of burned out on the drone stuff. He just wasn't feeling, Instagram, it has to feel natural or it feels forced and you don't enjoy it. And he wasn't enjoying it anymore. And so now he's posting stuff for 3D printing and he just loves it. He loves it. The audience is great. I mean, it is a lot of crocheters now that he's making the hooks, but, everybody's interactive. And so he's having fun with it and actually wanting to go live. And, it's just a testament. If you enjoy what you're doing, social media can be easier because you want to share stuff. So it's been really interesting to watch his journey on social media and on Instagram. So
yeah, that's neat.
Yeah.
So how did you guys start 3D printing, or who came up with the idea, you or your husband?
So he's always been super, super techie, loves any of like the technology side. And he has talked about wanting a 3D printer for forever, but it was always that idea of like thinking that they'd be way too expensive for us to get one. And we finally realized, because he's kind of a kit guy, so he would be able to put stuff together. And so he got one of the, I guess it's an Ender brand. And he had to build it, so it was like a kit 3D printer. And so he went through and built the item. And so it was a little bit cheaper because you have to put it all together. And that's where it all started, because he got it for Christmas. And then he said, you crochet, let me make you a hook. I mean, of course you would think that would be the logical thing. Like, I see hooks on all these websites for 3D printer files, but they weren't very good, like they just were kind of, and nothing that, I buy expensive hooks and, they're very special for like ergonomic and all that fun stuff. And so that turned into, well, we should design one, which turned into, well, how do you design one and how do you use design software? And it's funny, there's a whole highlight reel on my Instagram feed called Hooks. And you can actually see from the very, very beginning, from the very first hook that we tried on the printer that we designed, all the way to now. So you can see kind of that journey of what the hooks looked like and, going from ones that just weren't strong enough. Some of the hooks, the actual neck of the hook was really teeny. And so we figured it might break. And then so we beefed that up and we watched that kind of journey. So it's really cool to have all of that saved on that reel, on that highlight reel.
That's
and
cool.
we can go back and say, oh, remember when we did that?
Yeah, that's really neat. That's what I'm finding with Instagram, is that it's a album kind of your progress through whatever it is you're on Instagram for.
Yeah.
I've been on Instagram since 2012, just posting pictures of my kids and stuff. And their little pictures have grown up on Instagram.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I already do love these ladies. What are you talking about? Going to. This is awesome.
Aw.
Very cute.
Oh, we love you too. What sizes of hooks do you make? I was wondering that, because I noticed they're the bigger hooks.
Yes. So ever since, I mean, I guess it was, yes. So since 2019, I see your box. I'm so glad I got to you in time. That makes me so happy.
Yeah, I'm gonna unbox live.
Okay. Ever since I started only going to shows, so when I was only doing craft shows, I didn't use anything smaller than a size 10 hook, because that was what I made my hats out of. It's what I made my scarves. I usually used like a 20 millimeter. And even my little cat cozies, I'll have to grab one to show you since that's the pattern that's going to come out soon. But I used a 10 for those. And so I didn't use smaller sizes. And so when we started designing these hooks, it actually worked out because it's easier to make sure that the bigger sizes are stronger. And that was our main concern, because we now sell 10 and 11 millimeter sizes, but we had to really run them through the ringer to make sure that they were going to be strong enough to put out there and not break, and that it would make sense for that size. So we may continue to try to look at smaller sizes, but I don't use them. So it's hard to like feel on brand when you put things out there that you don't use. So that's why we've kind of stuck with the larger sizes, and even the gauge that we did is made for like larger sized projects and larger hook measuring sizes. So yeah.
Well, I've got to say, ever since this time last week that we heard about you, I have been busting through my yarn. You've inspired me to use mini strands and large hooks.
I feel like I'm bringing a lot of people into this new, like a lot of people hadn't tried doing more strands than once. A lot of people haven't owned larger hooks until they've tried my patterns. But I also feel like a lot of people haven't made wearables until they found my patterns, because that's what I'm trying to push is like, if you've never made a sweater, then this might be a really good one to start with, because it doesn't take that long and it is the chunkier yarn, and it won't feel as overwhelming to try to make it, because it's not going to take you a month or multiple months, you know, of working and piecing things together. And
you get that faux satisfaction.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
That's always, that helps with discouragement. You know, you don't get discouraged when you can see something shaping up and you can actually, I can put my arm through it now.
Well, and even in the patterns, I encourage you to take selfies part of the way through. So a lot of my new patterns, I'll get to a point and I call it the fit check selfie. I'll do like a hashtag. Because I want people to have that excitement. You know, you're halfway there, you know, you can actually wear it, you can try it on, make sure you don't need to adjust anything. And I try to let that excitement come out in the patterns, because I feel like a lot of patterns can be really dry. And it's just, you know, it's just the instructions, but like, I want my personality to come out. So I try to put little nuggets in there of little funny things. And, and one of my newest patterns that's going to come out, it says, at the very end of the pattern, like you've already constructed everything, it's ready to go, and you pretty much just have to weave in ends. I say that now it's time to celebrate, and I list out ways that you can celebrate, and one of them is wearing your shirt around the house for the rest of the day without weaving in your ends. So it's just fun, you know. I try to make it fun and funny, and you know, me.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Also, another thing about your patterns is I love being able to see the pictures of your testers at the end of the pattern wearing their sweaters or their makes, or you know, whatever they've made with the pattern. Yeah,
that was a new addition. I think that started with the Granger cardigan, and I think it's because everybody's fit so well that it was like kind of overwhelming for me, because sometimes that can be difficult. Like you don't know how it's going to fit all bodies and how it's going to look. And it took a little bit of work. Like the testing process was harder. I had made things a little longer. The Granger is supposed to be a little more cropped. And it was turning into like a dress on some of my plus size testers, because I had added too much length. And it was a learning process for me. And so with their help, I was able to fix it. And the end result was just fantastic. Like it looked great on everyone. The fit was great. Even with the buttons, you know, having the buttons down the front with the Granger. And so with that one, I decided I'm just going to ask my testers if I can have their measurements, if I can share their measurements. And now all of my patterns moving forward will have either 1 to 2 pages at the end of the pattern with a photo of the tester wearing their finished product. It'll have their measurements and their height. And then it also has their Instagram tag. So, you know, if people want to go follow them and find out more about that tester, it's just great. And I feel like it gives a little back to the testers, because again, they're forever in that pattern now and findable. And, you know, people can, you know, you feel like you're part of that. Like I know in grad school, I always wanted to be part of like published papers, you know, even if your name was at the end of that list of people who worked on that paper, you were published. And so I feel like that's kind of part of that, is you feel like you're a part of that published final pattern, and not just
brilliant.
Tester.
That was a brilliant idea, because you give something back to the testers too that, you know, monetarily doesn't like cost money, but you know, it might get them more followers and more confidence and testing more and maybe making their own garments. Like it's awesome thing to do. I love it.
The other thing that really was kind of cool was I do have people ask me now if I can make things for them. And I don't sell finished products. So since I've gathered all of my testers on a Discord channel, I can actually reach out to them and say, hey, this person wants a pair of overalls. Is anyone interested in me connecting the two of you? So I try to make it so if they make finished products and I don't, I can connect them with this person who wants to pay for something to be made and, hopefully maybe make them some money. So that's been really cool when people ask me and I can just kind of put it out there and see if the testers want to make it and connect. So that's been really neat.
Almost, I was holding in a sneeze.
Hurt yourself.
Sorry. Yeah, I saw those pictures of your testers in their overalls, and I was just like, oh my gosh, that is so cute. I've got to make some of those.
I'm so glad it turned out the way that it did, because that was one of those where I'm like, this could be really bad trying to do this. I did see Linda's order. Thank you so much. Matt actually asked, so the captain will always ask, do we know them? Do we know them? Because, a lot of people will know through Instagram.
Right.
And we always get so excited when we sell something, especially after a release, because a lot of things, they'll just kind of sit. And you're like, well, I don't know when people will buy these, but they're here. So thank you so much.
Another thing about
in the chat. Hold on.
Okay, sure.
I was asking about the smaller hooks. What's the smallest size that you make right now?
Right now it's a 10 millimeter. And that was new with this last release. So our latest release was the first time that we put 10 and 11 millimeters out into the world. Okay.
And then you are starting to do, or you were on the live last night doing yarn bowls. Is that something that you're going to release on Etsy eventually? Or, because I have somebody asking about it.
It is definitely in beta. So as with all of our stuff, we want to make sure that things are super functional. So if, obviously with the yarn bowl, the biggest thing is figuring out, will the weight be right? We don't want it to slide around too much. We also don't want it to be catching. So we have to figure out, are we going to have to sand and coat these? Because that's going to make them a lot more expensive, because those are going to be difficult to coat with resin and to sand down. If we can get them directly off of the printer without having to sand them like our gauges, like our gauge tools, then they aren't as expensive. But we want to make sure that things are super, super functional. And the goal for me is I have one yarn bowl that fits my super chunky yarn in the bowl. And so I would love for us to be able to make a bowl that's bigger than what's out there for people who use the chunky yarn. And that's why he started making it. But we may need a bigger printer. So.
But how big is your printer right now?
I think the printer bed is, if I were to size it, it's probably about that big.
Okay.
And you can't work the entire space, because you'll have some of the items like the bowl needs supports. And so that ends up being outside of that was the issue last night. We had to size down the bowl a little because the supports were going outside of the print range. Yeah.
Yeah. I was last night, I was talking to my mom on the phone and I was telling her about your 3D hooks. And she was like, oh, okay, wait a minute. She had never really heard of them.
Yeah.
She was like, you mean you make them out of paper? No. No, Mom.
That wouldn't work.
I know. I was like, no, Mom, they're fully functional crochet hooks.
Yeah.
Mind blown.
Yeah, I've got one. I brought a couple. I'll just have one for now. Let's see. I brought some of my yarn too. So I have everything's kind of behind here, but I can grab it if I need anything. But so you guys can see some of the oldest releases. So this was one of my pink Barbie hooks. It's sparkly.
I love that.
There you go. I said if Barbie's dream house came with a crochet hook, then that's what it would look like. I know you don't like pink. That's okay. We've got more things for you.
Fine. I was like,
this is our
one of those anything but pink.
little margarita style. We decided to do the summer drink special, so this was our margarita Bahama Mama. Yeah, this is a 18 millimeter. This was a 12, so this is one of our 12s. And then here's one of the big ones. Big boy.
Hello.
That is huge. What size is that one?
This is a 25.
Wow.
Yeah, and
I
I
love-
use these for one of my only free crochet alongs
Mhm.
uses a 25, and that's on my YouTube channel. But that's the super jumbo chunky. Yeah, the Jumbie cowl. That's what I should call it. But it's a super big chunky cowl that uses 2 strands of 6 weight, so super bulky
wow.
yarn. But it's my favorite cowl because it like stays up around your face and it actually keeps you warm, and it's my favorite. It became like my signature at craft shows. That was my favorite thing to sell. So that uses this size, and that's why I made it, because usually these are the ones that are way too heavy and way too long and become extremely uncomfortable to use. And so this was my answer.
Way too heavy, way too long.
Yep.
Paging hook
Yep.
nook.
So this was my answer to that. And it actually has the inline style hook, for being a 25. So I love these. And that was, I knew that I had to, I don't make a ton of these because they don't sell as often because not as many people use these, but maybe during the winter, once it gets colder and people use even chunkier stuff. But those are just a few.
I have a question.
Those are so.
Do you have the number on there anywhere for the size?
Yes. So that was an addition that we just added. So these are on the bottom. So that's the 18.
Oh, cool. Yep.
But not all of them did. This was one of the betas where it was kind of hard to see. So we were trying to figure out the right way to get it to show up. And then this was even worse. Let's see. Oh yeah, this one you can barely even see it. It's on there. If you're in person and you get the sun to hit it just right, you can see that it's a 16. But we were still trying to figure out how to get that to print in a really visible way. But now it's pretty easy to tell. Yeah, so that's our 12. But yeah, a lot of
adores all your hooks. They're fabulous.
Lori has quite a few. and we do have the interesting thing is I realized after making these, I choke up on my hooks when I'm working with them. So like for me, this is the perfect size. But we have had people custom order what Matt now calls our long boys. So we make them about 10 centimeters longer, and it's just long enough to where if you tend to hold your hook a little lower and you've got it hitting your hand here, then we can do a custom.
So you do custom orders?
We do custom, or so the fun thing, we've had one person take advantage of this, but if you want to order a set and it's like, I think we decided it's 4 or more, so it has to be more than 3, then we can order you a custom color for you, because there's tons of filament. I mean, there aren't a lot of color change. That's the only thing. So like rainbow, we have to be careful because not all filaments are created equal, just like yarn, and you don't want it to mess up your printer. So we have to make sure that it's quality filament. But if it's like a color, so if you want like a hot pink or a eggplant purple, or like all of the kind of shades of color, we can do custom orders, and we would buy you your own roll of filament, and then you can choose if you want to have like a glitter coating on there, or like this one, where it's like glittery, or if you want just
I love that.
And we can do colored glitter. I actually have a custom order right now for black hooks with rose gold glitter.
Ooh, I'd love to see that.
Yeah, I'm all about the glitter.
Yeah, it should be really fun. And something that Matt was like, I don't understand. I'm looking at the Craft Yarn Council, because he goes on there and looks at like the sizing. And he said, how come all the little hooks have, like 2 to 2.25 to 2.75 to 3. And then the big hooks, it's like 12 jumping all the way to 16, jumping, and I was like, this is the answer that we're giving people. Like we're giving, these in between sizes that don't technically exist. And I think it's been really cool because not everybody has my gauge, and all of my projects are these big ones, and people may need to find middle sizing and can't jump all the way from a 15 to a 10, so that's been really interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. That's really great. And, because I've been looking for more chunky type projects, to use up some of this yarn before I move. And there aren't a lot there's chunky, but then I would consider yours super chunky.
Yes, definitely.
And there aren't a lot of those that
there's
to
not
find
like super chunky wearables. Like I see lots of like
Yeah.
big chunky home things like baskets and blankets and stuff, but I love that your stuff is wearables.
And I'll tell you what spurred that was the fact that there are a lot of super bulky and super chunky knitwear wearables.
Okay.
That, if you look at sites like We Are Knitters or Wool in the Gang, that was my inspiration, because when I first started knitting, I loved that yarn and their patterns for all of these super chunky sweaters that were knit sweaters, but I don't like knitting. Not really. I mean, I'm not against it. I like crocheting better. I enjoy it better. And so I was like, I want to recreate this look that they have created with these chunky, super bulky knit sweaters and cardigans. But the crocheters don't have an option. There's not something out there really like that. There might be, but it's very few and far between. So that was kind of my answer to that. That was the inspiration for what started me wanting to make super bulky crochet items that are wearables.
Okay.
Oh, I got to tell you a story. I was over at my daughter's house yesterday visiting, or not yesterday, the day before, visiting my granddaughter.
Oh, so
And I decided I'm going to make a little tiny Dobby sweater.
Oh,
So I've got to show you. I got to show you the picture here.
and you've already finished it.
Oh,
yeah.
I finished it.
So
I finished
cute.
it like in 3 hours. It was great. But oh, wait a minute. I don't have it right there. I'll pull up. I'm working on pulling up the pic, but I am in love with this little sweater. And the thing that totally got me was that my daughter was in love with it too. She wouldn't let me leave her apartment without it.
She wouldn't let you take it back.
Oh my god!
Oh yeah, she wouldn't let me leave the apartment with it. It's so cute. And then I have another picture where she has it. She couldn't put it on. It's still a little too big for her, but I put it over her.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it still is a little big for her, but that's okay.
So cute.
Yeah. And so I'm going to make her a whole bunch of little things like that.
Well, and I've realized that if people are experienced, at least a little experience, if they're not like super beginners, most of my patterns are pretty easy to just change however you want.
Yeah.
And that's the goal, so I do offer a wide range of sizes now, but I have had a lot of people who've made like mini versions for their kids without having that size listed. So that's nice.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
I'm inspired I was thinking of making one that has kind of like a baby doll dress that have the short front and start longer up here and just kind of go down and get a little bit bigger. Or not a baby doll. Is that what it? Yeah, like a baby doll dress, and then have a little fur around the hood and everything, and down at the bottom.
Yeah, that'd be cute.
What?
Could be like a Santa dress.
Yeah.
Oh my god. That's awesome.
Yeah, that would be wonderful. So, when did you write your first pattern? When did you design your first anything?
Yeah, so I think that my first official pattern was my Rachel crop top, and that is still in my Etsy shop. I really need to go back and like restructure it because it looks nothing like my patterns now, but it still works. I think that was maybe 2017, maybe something like that. And then it was like a hiatus. So I did that pattern, and I made a cat ear hat pattern, and that was it for up until 2020.
Wait,
I think.
Or a different one.
The
cat hood.
The cat ear pattern. No, it was just like the women's march hats.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Made one of those that was super simple, and I actually ended up updating the pattern because the one that I first released was just double crochets. That's it, and then you sewed the top up. So I think I updated it a little bit on the newest version, but I wanted it to be really simple, just to make it really easy for anyone who wanted to make one. but yeah, so that was when I started, and that was a lot. I realized how much work it was, and how much time went into it, and you know, even just finding testers and kind of managing a test group. And I knew I just didn't really have the time at the time to put in and make more. And I really had kind of that, I guess you could call it kind of that imposter syndrome of like, am I really good enough to create my own designs, you know, and put this together? And I think that happens with anyone when you first start thinking. Like a lot of people that I talk to, when I ask them why they haven't written a pattern up, they're like, well, this is just too easy. It's not good enough to be a pattern. People aren't going to want to buy it. And I just try to tell them they will, because people buy patterns for simple stuff all the time who are just starting out. And so I kind of had to get out of my own head and be like, yeah, it's worth it. I mean, people have asked me too. I have 2 patterns that are very similar. It's really just the sleeves that are different. But I was like, man, but just making sure those sleeves were different, you know. So for me, it was enough to put it out as a separate pattern. And so, you know, it's your choice. You know, you can put out whatever you want to put out, and you know, people will like it or they won't, and then you can move on from there and try new things. And so, but it's still the same amount of effort that goes in. So you have to value yourself for that time and that effort. So
speaking of writing patterns, you have a pattern writing guide.
I do,
don't you?
Yeah. So I have a pattern writer's workbook. It's about 30 pages, I think. And it goes through how I take notes for my patterns from the very beginning, how I take photos. So it has some like photography tips. Ooh, that sun is just, I moved. There we go. I have photo tips. Yes. Good morning from Georgia. Yes. I'm from Atlanta. I saw someone ask that. We're just south of Atlanta. So we're about an hour south. But yes, so the workbook, I go from taking my notes, how I do that, what apps I use, taking photos, structuring a pattern, all the things that you need in there, like all the little, you know, pieces that make up, you know, a good pattern, including like page numbers, like just things that, you know, you may not think about immediately.
Right.
I talk about how I find my testers. I talk about how I manage my testers, how I set deadlines to release the pattern. I talk about how I market the pattern. So it's really just like an all-inclusive thing. And it was born out of the pattern workshops that I offer as well. And it was after kind of finding out what the needs were of people who were maybe a little concerned about writing their first pattern. Oh, and the other thing is grading. So is grading is the same as adding additional sizes, right? I feel like I'm using those terms interchangeably.
I think so.
See, so people ask me, and I do go over the gauge math. So I go over how to take your gauge, how to figure out how many stitches per inch, and then adding length or width to your pattern based on that math. So there's like some sample, you know, sample work problems that show you how I would add, you know, an inch or two to a certain size. But yes, I do the workshops too. And the workshops include the workbook. I have one workshop tomorrow, and then I'm pretty sure that the next one is going to be in June, and I just haven't added it yet.
Workshop.
So my workshop right now, the one that is tomorrow, and that's tomorrow at 12:30 Eastern time. And it's about a 2-hour workshop. We go through the workbook together, and then I answer any questions that people have. But that is in my Etsy shop. So if you go to my Etsy shop and you click on live virtual workshops, it's the only one that's listed right now. And there are a few spots left. I keep the classes small. I limit them to 8 people. And I think there are still some spots left for the one tomorrow. So if anyone's interested, you can join me. It's live on Zoom. And that way it is like a face-to-face. It's more like a class. I feel like that's so much nicer than just sending people to a YouTube video that they can watch. Then you can't ask questions, you know. So I want it to be interactive. But those are really fun. And I think the next one, like I said, I think the next one is going to be it's going to be the 3rd Saturday in June, I think. Whatever date that is. But it'll probably be the same time, because this month I did all Sunday classes. And so next month I want to do a Saturday class. So, but those are really fun. I enjoy those.
And the workbook's included with that, and you work through the workbook
Yes.
with your students. And this is really, really a great opportunity, I think, for people to get into pattern writing. I love the fact that you go through so much more than just the pattern writing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I show people another thing. I go through Canva. So I use Canva to structure my patterns, and Canva is pretty much a designer, an option for designing publications. If you don't know how to use like Adobe Illustrator or Photoshop or things like that, it's much more accessible. I walk people through how to find a template, and how to insert their notes into the template, and how to put their pictures in there, and do all of that. It can still be intimidating, even though it's a lot more user friendly than, say, Illustrator, or trying to do it through a PDF on your tablet or on your computer. And I also show people what my first patterns looked like versus now. So people can see, like, you may start out and they're going to look very different until you kind of find the look that you're going for. So people can see where I started and where I am now. So that's kind of cool too, to get to share that with people.
Oh yeah.
People will say, like, I'm intimidated to put videos on YouTube. And I'm like, listen, go back and watch mine from last May. And you'll be like, ooh, that's a little rough. Like, you evolve.
Yes.
You figure out, like, what parts of your personality, like, relate well, and you get better. Sometimes you just gotta try it,
Yes. I did see someone asking about yarn shops. There are only 2 that I know of, because I haven't gone to a lot of them. They're all really far from me. There weren't any close to me. Most of them are north of Atlanta, or like outside my range, where I'd be able to go. One of them is called Eat, Sleep, Knit, and that is north of Atlanta, I'm pretty sure. The other one, I can actually look it up for you now because it's new, and it is one that I've been talking with the owner, and she's really, really sweet. So I can give you that name. So when I get that, I'll say it. I have to find her first. I know it wasn't that long ago that I was messaging her on here.
You should, Rosalie. Yeah,
What
I
is
think
that?
benefit you. Maybe I should get the book so I can write more patterns.
It's only like $12.50. Like, it's not an expensive workbook. It could be a lot more expensive, but I know at some point I'll probably up the price, because I feel like it continues to grow too. So I add more information as I learn what is needed. But it's $12.50. So I tried to keep it affordable so that anyone can, check it out. And then my classes are $25, and they include the workbook. So
wow, that's very affordable.
Yeah,
that's very affordable.
Yeah. And like I said, I'm the type of person where if I started selling out classes and having to offer too many, then I probably would increase the price, just like I do with products, if I can't keep up with demand. But right now, this is great. It's doable. People do sign up. So
I know that when I first, actually, I could probably, who am I kidding? I could benefit from your class right now. I should totally jump in there.
It's really fun. I mean, and again, for me, it's just that connection too. It's you get to meet other people. We've had people from all across the world that join. The last one, I had someone from Ireland. Everyone else was from the U.S., but it was all across the U.S. And then I had someone who was international. So it's really great to also just get to meet other makers. You might know them, but you may not. Yeah, Lori was in one of my last classes. Another thing, I have started recording the classes. So if you do want to sign up, maybe you don't want to be there live, I do record them and I put them on YouTube as like a private video. So the only people who can view it are people who have the link. And then they can actually go and watch it. So if the timing just doesn't work for you, but you do want the information, you can still sign up for the class and just kind of let me know in the notes section that you're just going to watch the recorded version. So that is an option. And I try, because I understand, sometimes the timing just doesn't work, or people are really busy,
Also in Atlanta, don't you have an art reuse place that we were talking about?
Yeah, the Scrap ATL or Scrap Atlanta. Yep.
That might be something too. If you're in the area, you might want to check out Life in
Yes.
Stitches.
Oh, here we go. I found it. So it is called Max and Herb. So HERB. And they are Peachtree Road in Chamblee, Georgia. And you can find them on Instagram. It's at Max and Herb. And they're a new yarn shop.
Cool.
And she's really sweet. So the owner, I think she actually ordered me some of the yarn from Bobbiny. Yeah, Bobbiny. Because they have like the macrame type cord. And I've really wanted to try it for some stuff. And so she had ordered it wholesale and said that she can ship it to me since we're in Georgia. So it'll be cheaper. Because I think Bobbiny is international.
Okay.
So at some point, hopefully I can try some of that and some more bulky yarn.
Wow. What kind of things would you make with that?
Probably bags at this point.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking.
Can you drop Evelyn's YouTube link, please? Dana's asking for it, and everybody else.
Oh,
Go
okay.
subscribe to YouTube. Thank you. Sorry.
Thanks, guys.
Mm-hmm.
I see. Will the book help you when you watch a tutorial and are taking notes so you can finish the project without having the tutorial running? Like my class? Is that the question? The book is definitely its own entity. It's helpful for anyone who wants to write a pattern. So it walks you through it by itself. It's just with the workshop, I walk through it with you and answer additional questions and kind of go into more detail about my process. And I think that's what you're asking. That the workbook is totally its own thing. And then at the workshop, I go into more detail myself, and I'll go through Canva, my software, and all of that kind of fun stuff.
Is Canva Canva or is
Yes.
it? Okay.
Yep.
I love Canva.
Yep.
Canva.
It's great for branding. I mean, because you can really kind of pick your colors out, and you can find lots of fonts that you can play with, and it's been fantastic for me. I mean, I create all my YouTube thumbnails, any graphics that I make for Instagram, Pinterest. I make my Pinterest graphics on there.
Oh, you're on Pinterest?
Mm-hmm. I am on Pinterest.
What are you having it for?
I think it's Pinterest. Let me see if this works. Pinterest.
Wow, it's Pinterest / gymnastic coach, right?
What?
It is Pink Sheep Design. So it's pinterest.com/Pink Sheep Design. And it is just all my patterns. I mean, it's nothing really else. It's really more of that marketing tool for new people who might find my designs elsewhere.
Okay.
But it's fun. The graphics are simple, and I've actually gotten a lot more people pinning them lately, so that's kind of fun.
Okay, I just put up your link for your YouTube.
Hey, thanks.
Sure. And I'm going to find. I'm kind of slow. My kids make fun of me because I'm this kind of.
Where'd you put it?
In the chat.
You're too late. Whisper already did that.
Well, I'm there for those who are like me and who miss it the first time.
Okay.
And by the way, guys, I did update that. So you can, I think Level 4 Coach still works, but it is now accessible as Pink Sheep Design.
I saw that. I was.
And the backstory, I coached gymnastics for 6 or 7 years. And when I opened that YouTube channel, I was coaching a Level 4 group of girls, and we would do their drills for their skills drills. And I would video the drill for the skill, and I would post it to YouTube, and then they could go back and look at it and, continue to work on that drill at home. And actually I looked back and I was like, wow, some of those have like 10,000 views on those old gymnastic skill videos. And I'm sure it's because other people were finding them and, practice and using those drills in their gyms. But yeah, that's why. So I never knew that I did that. I never knew I customized it to say, because that was like 9 years ago. Those videos were 9 years ago. So
wow.
Yeah, go me. customize
Go
any
you.
channel.
Live, we made a better YouTube name for you.
Yes. Yep.
That's awesome.
Oh, I like
Okay.
my, thank you, my link tree link.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, yes, the box, the mystery box.
Oh, let's open it. Hold on. I'm going to go get another cup of coffee real quick.
Wait, you come
Okay.
back.
And I'll
And
be
I'm gonna
right back.
I'm gonna turn my light on so that it's
Okay.
brighter. I'm gonna leave you by yourself, Kim. I'll be right back.
Oh no, what will I do? Hi everyone. I want to thank you guys for joining us today on Affordably Geeky. And if you have not given us some thumbkins yet, I really would appreciate it so YouTube knows we're here. And also check out all the links for Evelyn Sheep Designs down in the description box. And please go on over to her YouTube and subscribe and follow her on Instagram. Honestly, her patterns are really cool and it gets me to go through my bulky yarn stash, which I know that I have a ton of. See that blue and red back there?
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
all chunky yarn
Oh, nice.
that I got from Dollar Tree. Which
Oh, that's really pretty.
I'm
Yeah.
super excited to use that red and blue together in your overall pattern. That's my plan.
Yeah, and I need to send you that stuff. I'm so sorry. This week got away from me. I'm taking next week off work, and so obviously this was a busy week of getting prepared to be off for a week.
I'm still working on this one, so
Yes, no, that's so pretty too. I love how that's working up, like the pattern it's making.
how this is coming out. So this is, oh, I have one without a ball band. Hold on, it's right behind. Whoop. I'm using Red Heart Team Spirit Chunky. And I
Yeah.
love this because it's Hufflepuff colors.
Yeah.
So amazing. And this was a find for me last year at Dollar Tree. So I got 20 balls of this. So that should be enough to make the cardigan.
I think so.
I mean, it's like 83 yards.
Yeah.
Be plenty.
Yeah, that's pretty. I like it.
Hmm.
And I did bring some of my favorite yarns that I can go through.
Oh.
'Cause I know a lot of people ask about chunkies.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you that, but I wanna unbox this bad boy first.
Yes. Yes.
Super excited. I was like, oh my god, when I came yesterday.
No, I'm so happy that it did. We had someone else who was she travels between Mississippi and Ohio.
Yeah.
And we had her hook shipped to Mississippi, but was leaving for Ohio on Sunday.
Mhm.
And USPS said that the box was going to arrive on Saturday. And I was like, ooh, that's cutting it close. And it got there yesterday.
Well,
So it makes me so happy when people aren't going to have to wait even longer for their stuff. And
Hi, Nancy from Massachusetts. I'm in Massachusetts too. What part of Massachusetts are you in? I'm near Rhode Island. Ginger, do you have electricity again, or you just like improved your lighting situation?
We've got electricity again.
Oh, you're not in the yarn cave. Yay!
Yep. I've got light.
I turned a light on and it didn't do too much. So I'm going to have to get like a ring light or something. I can't believe I still don't have one, but
Dude, I have LED ceiling lights and a table lamp.
But you have the awesome audio, which is more important.
I mean, these have just been amazing. Did I tell you guys why I have these?
Because you play video games?
So back in 2012, it had to be because I got married in 2011. So in 2012, Matt and I, the captain, and I played Warcraft.
Ooh.
Big time.
Wow, that is
So these were
Wow.
a present from him for my Warcraft days. And they're actually great. They're not noise canceling. That's the only thing. Like I can still hear everything. But the audio has been fantastic. So when we started working remote, I just went and dug these out of a Tupperware bin somewhere in my closet and voila.
those are where did you get those from?
So these are actually GameCon.
Oh, okay.
And they were expensive. Like if you look them up now, I think you can still find these exact ones on eBay, and it's like $200 or $300 now because you can't find them.
Oh.
And so when he got them, because he always, I mean, when it comes to technology, like he's going to get the best of the best, but it has to be worth the money. He's not going to buy the most expensive. He's going to buy the best. And so, sometimes those two aren't equal. But so these have been amazing. The fact that they're 9 years old and they're great. Like they have a little bit of like some of the, fabric has worn off, but they're super comfortable. So,
oh yeah, the audio quality is great.
thanks.
I love it. I got one of those little kind that you clip on here.
Yeah.
I used it a couple of times and it didn't make sound anymore.
I don't love that thing you got. I was like, oh, let me know how that works. Oh, it broke already? No.
Yeah, it didn't work great.
Not so much.
Yeah, I mean, gaming headphones I think are probably the best, and it's just a corded USB for these. And I think that's just a little more reliable.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of gets in the way when you're working, like if I'm trying to work and I'm, on a keyboard or something. But for this kind of stuff, it has been fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Jen, that's a good idea, Bumblebee, if I have any of that yarn left.
Yeah.
I think that would be cute too.
Oh, your Dobby sweater? You said Dobby or Dobby? I'm not.
Dobby.
I'm
Dobby, Harry Potter.
not a.
Doesn't no.
I don't know Harry Potter that much.
So
but you know your house?
Hold on. Only because. Hold on.
Only because of
I have talking sticks.
her.
Talking stick. So I'm the one talking. So last week on our live, some people in the chat, Paging Whisper, and some others who are very into sci-fi fantasy, and we ended up going on a tangent about Lord of the Rings and Star Wars and some other stuff an hour last week.
Wow.
And I found out that she has never done a sorting hat quiz. Yeah. And I was like, rectify that now. So she did it on live, and she's in Hufflepuff.
Yeah. Well, and so I had never taken a sorting hat quiz, but I read every book when it came out. So like I was one of those people like standing in a line to get my book, and I grew up with the series, like I think I read my first one when I was like 11, and then my last one in college. I mean, whatever that it's a huge range, for people who
are you?
How old am I? I'm 33.
Oh my God, you're a baby.
Yeah. Doesn't feel like I'm getting older and older.
My oldest daughter's almost 31.
I know.
Ginger.
Because I was thinking I must be much older than these two.
But yeah, I had never done the sorting hat quiz, even though I'd read all the books, and I reread them this year. When the pandemic hit, I was able to start reading more. So now I read every night before bed. I read at least like a couple of pages, even if it's one page. I have to read before bed. And I read the entire Harry Potter series again. And then I read all the Lord of the Rings, and now I'm reading the Sword of Shannara, or the Shannara Chronicles, the trilogy. The Shannara series?
Chronicles?
Yes. I've only read the book. So I'll have to look into that. Yes.
Okay.
You're kind of choppy, Kim.
Just a little.
Uh-oh. Is that better? Am I robot voice?
You're like freeze frame.
Pixelated.
Yeah.
All right, let me fix that. I'll be right back.
Okay. Okay, sounds good. Oh, I had a couple of other questions I wanted to ask you about. Let me find you on Instagram again, about your designing and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Or not designing, social media.
Mm-hmm.
And how you got into all that.
How I get into social media in general?
Yeah. And got your business in social media,
Like my full-time job in social?
Like your what? Oh yeah, that go ahead.
No, I think that social media just kind of I grew up right in that time where it was the thing to do, but I didn't grow up with it. So I didn't have Facebook. I didn't have Facebook or MySpace until college. So it wasn't like I was in high school dealing with it gladly, because my self-esteem was already not that great. I have a feeling that social media would not have helped with that. But it was nice for me because I was the type of person, I used to like to write letters, long letters. Like I went to camp every summer and I wrote all my friends from camp, and these were like, I don't know if you guys ever got, like 13-page letters from people, but I was that girl. So I would sit down and I would write to my grandmother. I would write to, So when texting came out and emailing came out, it was like fish to water because I liked writing. So my family didn't call each other a lot. Like my husband, he talks to his family, on a sometimes weekly, basis. Whereas I would call my dad like once a month. But I would email him like every day, because that was my mode of communication. And so social media and having to like think of things to say, especially for a business, came kind of naturally, I guess. And I took to Facebook, early on, and that was the same thing. Like I liked the fact that I could connect with people, like my grandmother, when she was able to get on there and she could see what I was doing and what I was up to and what I was working on. And even now, my grandmother's on Instagram, and she follows me on there and will comment on my stuff. And so it just kind of, like I said, it came naturally. I feel like I like writing, and I like not speaking as much so as writing. And I enjoy connecting with people. I know for me, craft shows were stressful, but I loved them because of the connections. I loved getting to see people in person, to chat with people. Like I would usually get in trouble because I would get in these deep conversations with people who would come to my booth and someone else is like waiting to buy something. And I'm like, hold on 1 second. I'm just, chatting. And so those connections were really important to me. And social media gives me that opportunity, especially now, because of COVID. That was the past 3 years, something had come up every single year that kept me from doing craft shows. And I think I have like 3 Tupperware bins full of stuff that could at some point go to a show because it's just sitting ready made, but not selling online. So Instagram, especially after COVID, I think that's why a lot of my growth came from that time, because I turned to Instagram to get more connected, and to try to create that community, because I always wanted my brand to have a community side, but I wasn't really sure how to do it. And before I stopped selling finished products, I would actually do that locally. So I would do that through my photography, and I would do like a call for models to come and spend like 2 hours with me playing dress up in all of my stuff and taking pictures. And it made a lot of really cool connections locally with other artists and models and people who were in that creative space. And my photography focused on that too. So my photography business specializes in social media photography, marketing photography. So I will come into an artist's space and photograph them working, photograph their products, photograph their home or their studio, and all of those little knick-knack type things that you don't think to share on Instagram. But then when you have nothing to share, you're like, oh, I can share this little nook of my studio with my sewing machine, or, and tell how the sewing machine came from my grandmother. And, because they'll tell me all this stuff as I'm in their space and tell me like, oh, this is my grandmother's sewing machine, or check out my little pin that says I buy recycled clothing. Like there are just all these little things that you find and that other people don't think to share. So it all just kind of came naturally, and I enjoyed it. I know that social media can get a bad rap, and it does have its negative aspects. But I think, again, it's, what is it? With great power comes great responsibility, and we got to use it wisely. We got to try to do the right thing as individuals. And, if we see something that's negative, we can do what we can to turn it around, So yeah, fight the good fight. No drama.
No drama llama.
Am I now?
Yeah, you seem clear now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I went on a different Wi-Fi signal house.
Okay, yeah, you're moving around now.
I want to open this.
Yes.
Oh,
We've been keeping
that's
you from
right.
it.
Gotta see it.
And I've upped my packaging a little bit. We just started using those boxes, so those are really nice. We do buy those now specifically for this. I was using leftover boxes, but we ran out. Now that we're selling hooks, we don't have enough Amazon boxes left to pack all our stuff in Amazon boxes.
Ooh,
And then I got, tissue paper, colorful.
It's exciting to hear the crinkle. It's like opening a present.
That's why I wanted it to be like a little experience, and be fun. And ooh, this is pretty. So I'm working on it. It's evolution.
I got stickers.
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Are they pink sheep stickers?
Well, this
They're
is the Captain Crochet sticker.
yeah.
Did you tell everybody why you call your husband the captain?
Yes, he's Captain Hook. But he didn't want to get canceled by Disney, so his stickers say Captain Crochet.
Oh my God, that's cute.
That's perfect.
Look at how cool
And that's
this is.
Yeah.
Those
that's
are, so who made those? Did you design those?
So those are I can actually find him really quick because that was actually a graphic designer that my husband found, and he makes logos mainly for drone pilots.
Oh,
But he loved his
Oh,
aesthetic and his design, and so we were like, we want to support him, and so we paid him to create graphics for the two of us.
that's
that is so cool.
Yeah, so that was really fun.
I don't have a logo still.
Yeah.
Although I made one for us.
Yeah. Yeah, you do need a logo, Kim.
I know. I'm logoless.
Yeah, let's see. His is, here we go. It's, if you guys are interested in checking him out, his Instagram is at dogwood_graphics with an X. So GRAPHIX as graphics, but dogwood is spelled correctly.
Dogwood graphics.
Okay.
But it's very like graffiti style, you know,
Oh,
and that's
yeah.
what Matt really, really likes, that style. So when he saw his stuff, he was like, oh yeah, he needs to do something for me. So that was
Oh,
cool.
yeah, these are really neat.
Very funky.
Yeah, I love these. They look like they could be tattoos.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the colors.
Look,
They're
it's
bright.
a little package.
Yes. And I try to use leftover yarn. That's the goal. Like all these little things, like trying to use little leftover pieces and stuff that I won't use for anything else. So
Let's see if I can.
yeah, I don't double knot it or anything, so it shouldn't be too hard to open.
I want to see the hook, Kim.
She's trying.
What's wrong with you? You can't say?
So much suspense here.
I know. Can't handle it.
Oh my
And,
God.
and it's super light. Yeah.
Oh,
So blue and silver. That was actually custom filament. That was one of our custom orders. That was leftover filament from her custom order. Because
wow,
that
it looks like a rocket.
yeah.
That is so cool. Oh my gosh. Now, do they stand up on their end?
Yes, they do.
You don't even need a holder for them. You just stand them up.
We thought about making like a holder that like you put them in upside down. You know what I mean? Where it like catches on the end and then it just like displays them, which would be kind of cool.
I
don't know.
Because I could never just put this on the shelf. One of my kids would knock it over or run away.
Yeah.
Crochet hooks. So
Get some Velcro and put it on the end. And put it on your
Or
shelf.
like a magnet, and stick it.
That would be so cool.
But then it would be like sticking out of your fridge, like a booby trap.
oh yeah,
Yeah, that one.
oh my God, this is so light. It's amazing.
And I tried to. So we went through a process where even with the handle, the first one that I made, the handle was a wider diameter.
Yep.
And I started working with it and it caused pain in my hand. So I made it smaller. I really worked through and I tried them out to make sure that was the right size, at least for me, to use it without having pain. So there's definitely a process involved in getting the diameter of the handle right and the placement and all of that fun stuff. So
yeah, I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine the steps it takes.
Right?
You're gonna use what?
You don't just go, I'm gonna 3D print a hook. The first one comes out.
Like let me grab the old ones. I do have some old ones.
Oh yeah, I'd love to see those.
That up maybe. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty.
You guys, I don't know if you guys have been over to see Evelyn's Instagram, but this is what made me want to look at her stuff at first because her pictures are so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
They're so much fun. And her designs are so much fun.
Now, I forgot that I had a blue hook coming. I didn't specifically wear blue to match this.
Oh,
But it's hilarious.
I love it. It does. I love that hook. It's gorgeous.
So the reason I picked this one was because A, it's not pink.
But well,
And
naturally.
B, me being me,
Mhm.
technically it's an oopsie hook. So it's discounted.
It was affordably.
I know. See, there's a little bit of like what do you
Mhm. I
stuff on
didn't even notice that.
buld.
Mhm.
So it's an oopsie hook.
That is so pretty.
Hey, I was just saying, I forgot that the hook I got from you was blue. I didn't wear this getup to match this. I was like,
You did though.
blue. Oh.
Yeah. Okay, so I have a few. This one broke, so it had the little balls on it because I wanted to have that kind of like candy shop look, I guess.
Yeah.
But it broke because there wasn't enough holding that on there. So that was our first ever printed hook. Obviously there's a lot of things wrong with it, with like there's no, smoothness here to like the hook, the yarn was catching on it.
Mm-hmm.
So I did keep that neck for this next one, and that was the first prototype of like having a ergonomic style handle.
Yep.
But this is the one that caused a bit of pain because it was too big. And actually that's not the first thing I changed. So the next one was this one, and the handle is still really big, but the hook has like a smoother thing, but it's really skinny. So you can see how skinny the neck is. And that was a little worrisome, but I was so new to 3D software that I was like, this is hard, to design this.
Oh yeah.
The next one, smaller handle, hook is still the same, but you've got more of a neck slide where the yarn can like sit on the right size here. So that's closer. We also tried a version that didn't have the handle, but it had to be printed at like this weird angle like this. And so the way that it was printing was really funky and like had some problems towards the end because it just print smoothly. And then from there, that was when we went from this neck to this neck.
Okay.
To beef it up a little bit because we were just worried. That's so teeny, like that's so skinny.
Yeah.
And this was more of the inline style. So, but that was our like evolution. So it was quite a few. I think this was like version 11 and we started with only a 16 millimeter. So all of these were 16 millimeter hooks.
Wow.
Leading up to the final.
How long does it take to print one?
About 3.5 to 4 hours.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's for like smaller sizes. The big ones are literally about double. So like the 20 and 25s take longer. So those will take 5 to 6 hours for those. So we've done prints of like 6 hooks on the bed, and those are like 2-day prints. So you have to be like, power don't go out, because that happened once. And it just ruins the whole thing.
Oh my gosh.
So battery backup is on the list, especially now as we're making more of them. We want to make sure that we have like a battery backup, and we actually have 3 printers now. So that'll probably continue to grow because he wants to make other things, not just hooks.
Oh yeah.
So I kind of took that over.
Yeah, but the hooks are a great thing to start out on.
Yeah. Hooks are in my Etsy shop. I did see that. So the ones that are available right now are in my Etsy shop. But if you do want some kind of like custom order, like I said, our sizing right now ranges from 10 millimeter to 25 millimeter. We don't make 13s because there are no 13th floors. And it's,
I'm cool with that.
Matt said he will not make a 13. But we could do, like a 12.5 or a 14. We have 14s, but we have that whole range. And if people want like a custom set, I think the last set that we did, that blue and silver set, was a set of 6 hooks. So she chose her sizing, and those were actually our long boys, so we added about 10 centimeters or 10 millimeters.
So this
to it. That's a short one. Yeah. So that's our regular size.
Okay.
And we have some where we add, like I said, about, I think it's 10 to 13 millimeters that we add to the length. It's just enough to, I think it's just enough to make a difference for people who prefer to hold their hooks lower down on the thing, like way down here. And then you're going to have it like digging, but I tend to hold higher up on my hook. So that's why I made them that way.
Now I'm thinking about, this is
Yeah.
how I hold mine.
Yeah, some people hold their hooks way down here, and I could never do that because I want to be right up next to the yarn, like
Yeah,
right in the business, you know?
Yeah, I want to be in control of that yarn.
Yes. Yep. And that's not the case for some people, and that's why I was like, we do them as custom orders right now.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and some like, have you made any for people with pencil grips, and how?
Pencil grip, they use them this way. So Lori, I think, who may still be on here, I think she's one of my pencil grippers who uses hers like that. The hook highlight reel on my Instagram feed, I know it's a big one, but there are some videos of people working with their hooks using it pencil grip.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it is doable. I don't do it, and I'm like, this is really weird because the hooks are big, I mean, but there are people who still hold them that way, which is really interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. I've tried to do it. I've seen people do it, and it's like,
yeah, I can do it with the smaller hooks. I have practiced with like a 10 millimeter because I feel like it's nice to be able to, because it does give your wrist a break and changes up the way that you hold it. What do you think, Kim?
Oh my gosh, it's so.
You like it?
I like it. It's not getting caught up at all. Now I'm holding 4 bulky weights together.
Okay.
And it's really, really nice. I like how this is actually, so my hand's not sliding off the back of it.
Yes. People said that it almost like helps when they get tired. They like let the hook have some leverage.
Yeah.
On that piece. So I thought that was interesting to hear. Yeah. And like I said, our resin, that has been a process too. When we first started, we were using a different kind of resin, and we realized that it had some tackiness. We actually sent out some free hooks to people. We released 12 in our very first release. And one, it was like the green ones, I think, that got sticky. And we sent out free ones to all of them because, these are our people. And we were like, you guys are kind of our guinea pigs. You bought our first ever run that were sold. And so we redid them. We sent those out. And we started coating them with like an extra coat of acrylic spray to help get rid of the tackiness. And I told them they can buy them. So some of them actually bought acrylic spray and that now they have 2 because they kept the old one.
Oh, nice.
But now we use a different resin and it's no longer needed. So the different resin cured much harder. And now we don't have that issue. So that was a really great step, but it's all a learning process. Like we didn't know, we had never used resin, or not for this, I know my husband had used it, but we had to find our favorite products.
Right. Oh yeah, that totally makes sense. So what did you go to school for? What did you go to college for? Anything relating to anything?
Kind of. So no and yes. So I started off a psych major. For the same reason of I get people. I'm really good with people. So I what is that? The office, the guy in the office. I'm a people person.
HR.
People. Yes. But I'm one of those people where I can sit down, I can kind of talk to anyone, I can work with anyone, I can read personalities and kind of mirror that to get along with pretty much anyone.
Sure.
Even if we don't become friends, I can have good conversations, and I feel like I do that really well. And so psychology fascinated me, and I thought it was all extremely interesting. And then I had a really, really bad car wreck when I was in my freshman year. And at the time I was in a sorority, I was a cheerleader, I was doing all these extracurricular things. I always had a job, an extra job outside of college. And this car wreck was like flip 5 times across the interstate, get thrown out of the window kind of car wreck. Wow. In a brace for the summer, and couldn't cheer anymore, like at least not fast enough to be able to get back on the team.
Right.
And knew I wasn't going to be able to have a job for a minute. And so I was like, what am I going to do with this extra time? And so me being the nerd that I am, I was like, well, I'll just add another major.
Like you do.
Right. So I added a biology major, mostly because I was like, I don't really know what I'm going to do with this psych major. I don't know if I want to go to grad school, and I feel like I'm going to have to go to grad school with, this one. And so I started thinking, well, maybe I'll like go into veterinary. I don't know. I didn't know. You're 18. You don't know what you're going to do. I didn't, at least. And so added the bio major, stayed super busy. And then my senior year, I did an internship in the genetics program during the summer, but I hated it. Just being in a lab by myself, it was very isolating. And me being, more of a people person, I didn't enjoy it at all. And then I was like, well, what the heck am I going to do with my life now? Because my plan was to apply to all these genetics grad programs, and realizing the last minute I didn't know what I was going to do. And that actually got me, personally, I was into fitness and wellness because I had like done the whole freshman 30, not 15, and lost the weight, and really got into like the fitness side of things, and started applying to exercise physiology programs because I had all of the necessary requirements with the bio major to get into like a physiology program. Went to Auburn University for a year in an exercise physiology program, hated it. Was back in a lab, putting electrodes on athletes. And like, I wasn't, wasn't enjoying myself. I was doing horribly in my classes because I wasn't enjoying myself. At this time, the captain had moved in with me, and he was like, why are you doing this to yourself? You don't have to be miserable. You don't have to do this. You can do whatever you want, which is what I needed to hear at the time, because I didn't know what I wanted to do. So I took some time off. We got married, went back to grad school. Cause at this time I was still like, I'm going to grad school. I'm going to get a doctorate. Like that was my goal.
Right.
So this time it was for health education with like community focus. So back into health, but on the side where I could be around other people and have more of that community focus. Problem was I was going into debt because of student loans. And I was like, this is a horrible way to start this new marriage, because we had just got married. And I was like, I feel like I need to get a real big girl job, and I can always go back to school. And I got my first big girl job at Emory University, which is what moved us to Atlanta. And I oversaw the fitness and wellness programs at Emory. So that was working within there. It was actually within the athletics department because they didn't have a separate wellness department. But I did that for 2 years. And I didn't leave the fitness industry or the fitness wellness university system industry until 2016, 15 or 16. Oh. And that was when I left to freelance because I was burnt out. I wasn't enjoying myself anymore. I wasn't happy. But I was crocheting, and I had been doing photography since we got married. And so I quit and I started freelancing and doing crochet and going to shows and doing photography, and Matt was still working full time. So it was definitely a crazy road, but after 2 years of freelancing, I knew that social media was an option. I wanted to start working again potentially, but I wanted it to be for the right organization. Found my current job, which is great. And so, yeah, but the psychology, that's why I say yes and no, because the psychology degree has always helped. I mean, even with marketing, like I feel like it's easier to figure some of that stuff out. It makes more sense. So I'm very glad that I had that degree and had that education.
I know what you mean. My bachelor's in psychology.
Yeah.
And it's very practical. I mean, I have 7 kids.
There you go.
I needed that. And
I feel like it was very helpful.
Yeah, extremely practical, everyday life.
Yeah. And just getting along with people, getting along with people and helping people. And, I know for me, like with the spotlight on mental health now that you see a lot, I get to share the fact that, I had severe issues with like anxiety and I wouldn't quite say depression, but in a way, yes, in college, because everything made me cry. And I finally went to my dad and I was like, I don't know why I'm crying all the time. Like everything makes me cry. Everything makes me sad. I just want to sit in my dorm room and be alone. And at the time, there wasn't that spotlight on that, because I was a psych major, I was reading about it and I was like, okay, I can journal, I can exercise, like all these things. I had all these tools. But I ended up going on medication for a couple of years to just help me like mellow out, because I was like, I don't want to cry about everything, and it helped. And for me, it was, luckily for me, the first medication I tried was perfect. I didn't not feel like myself. I still felt like me. I just didn't feel so upset about things all the time. And it wasn't until I think 2012 that I came off of the medication, and it was great. Matt has been so supportive, and I think sometimes it is environment, and having him as like that person who is always with me and like biggest fan and super supportive. I didn't need it. I didn't feel like I needed it anymore, and I haven't needed it since. So but we all go through those times, and you have to do what works for you, and there's no shame in that,
No, not at all.
So we got to live our best life and be happy.
Yeah, I'm good with medication. I have to take it.
Yeah. And my dad has been on medication for years, it's what works for him, and he works with his doctor. And if he has to change things, like, so it's a personal choice, and, we all deserve to, like I said, be happy. And if that means getting help to be happy, then, that's what you do.
Right. And I look at it just like, like somebody with diabetes needs insulin, sometimes your body just needs things that it doesn't have to regulate itself.
Right. Yeah, I have pretty bad anxiety. And then when I had my kiddos, both of the kids I had postpartum depression, but with my son, it was particularly bad, to the point where, I've been seeing somebody for a while. And I just said, self, you can't live like this anymore. It's time to try more than just tactics or behavioral things. And it's to try some medication. And that took a long time for me to get to that, because I tried a lot of other stuff.
Yeah.
I just had to look at my quality of life.
Yes,
like,
exactly.
Not okay to be crying on the bathroom floor because something that happened,
Well, and when you have kids, it throws even more of a wrench into your ability to just step away. I think that's why I think it's even more important to be like, sometimes you do need some help, because, I know for me, it's like, we've got our dogs, but like, I can go, just have quiet moments when I need them. And not everybody has the ability to do that. And to take the time to have the behavioral things like the journaling or the exercise or the getting outside and,
crochet.
Yeah. And sometimes you need that extra help to make sure that you don't lose your mind.
Oh, mine would be totally lost. I'm totally lost. In good ways and bad ways.
Yeah. I didn't mean this to be a downer either, so sorry.
No. Better living through pharmaceuticals. That's what I'm legal.
Okay, can I just say I am so excited to make your overalls out of these yarns together, because look.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's going to be really pretty.
I'm you know what?
I'm so excited.
Yeah, I'm make those overalls.
So excited.
I haven't decided what colors I want to use yet, though.
Yeah, there's so many options.
Yeah. Oh gosh, I know. And I've got so much yarn to use.
Yeah. We was gonna say, I was gonna let everybody know too. So Kim actually got one of we call them oopsies.
I did. I got an oopsie. There's
yes, and so those, what we mean by those are usually there's small cosmetic flaws, whether that's like the resin pooled a little bit on the bottom of the rim, and we don't want to have to like sand it off, or if before we started using our new printer, you could actually see some like scarring on the hook from the supports because they weren't as easy to get out. But it was visible. And so sometimes we'll knock like $5 off of a hook if it's a cosmetic flaw, because they're still going to work. We still test them and make sure, they're not going to catch, they're not going to, cause issues or anything like that. But we actually sold one of our super fans. I call them super fans. If they've bought hooks from like every release we've done.
Wow.
And she actually bought a hook that we sold. It was one of our big boys. So it was one of the big, like 25 millimeters.
Mhm.
But when we were taking the supports out, the whole neck snapped off.
Oh no.
But it was so beautiful. It was like a rainbow. It was one of our rainbow full on like 6 color change rainbow hooks. And so Matt super glued like epoxy, 2-part epoxy glue the hook back on. So it wasn't going anywhere. But you could visibly see like the line where it had cracked, and then we glitter coated it. But we sold it for like $25, and one of our super fans bought it. And she was like, you can hardly even tell where it broke. And I was like, glad you like it. Cause we don't want to waste them. It was still,
Right.
it still worked. It still was functional. But usually we'll sell those because these are usually closer to 55, our big ones. Just because again, they use like double the material and,
Oh, sure.
but we sold that one for like $25. So, sometimes we'll have specials if they're, the leftovers, the imperfect ones.
Fine by me. This works great.
Yeah. How does it feel? I think that's our biggest thing is we want to make sure that it's
so light.
Yeah.
I want to save up a little bit of money and get a bigger one because all my bigger hooks are like, oh, I got shoulder pain. Like,
yes.
Why did this person make it heavy? Why is it so like,
yep.
Who needs a handle that's this big?
Yep.
Like,
yeah. Now, and our handles are still bigger. And it is because it's supposed to be 25. There's no way to like make the handle smaller, but it's so much lighter and it's shorter. So it's that same, like this is as long as it is, so that's when I'm working with it. So that was the goal for those. Yeah.
Bigger than the thing is.
Yeah.
Just lengthwise, like that's ridiculous.
And a lot of them, the hooks kind of suck. Like the actual hook on the bigger ones aren't very good. Like they'll be teeny tiny. They won't grip the yarn very well. And so that was the goal of like, I want these to fix a problem. Yes. Yeah. Like what is that? What is that?
It's a 19 millimeter.
Yeah.
Like, and like, why is your grip all the way up here?
Yeah.
Like who crochets like that's like, no.
Yeah. It makes you said the same thing. It's like, does whoever designed it probably doesn't crochet for real?
Don't crochet for real if you design that.
Yeah.
No way.
I like it that you're making them the inline hook style because I have found with splitty yarn that inside or inline hooks work better. And then when you're using 3 or 4 or 2 strands of yarn, it's kind of like working with some great big splitty yarn.
Yeah.
So
well, and it grips the yarn better because a lot of mine, because I crochet with multiple strands of yarn, that it has to be able to grip both of those and successfully get them where they need to be.
Right.
So that can be helpful for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm definitely gonna have to order 1 or 2.
Just let me know. Oh, someone did ask, what's your favorite extra bulky yarn? I definitely, I do have some. I have some over so that I can show you guys.
Yes.
Ooh, yeah, I want to see.
And Kim, you're gonna love this first one because it's a not because of what it is, but because of where I got it and how much I paid for it.
Okay. Oh, thrift store.
So it was Ollie's.
I love Ollie's
for $1.99.
Woohoo!
And this is Lion Brand. So these are like $10 skeins of yarn.
Oh yeah.
So back when I was going to craft shows, this is mainly what I used for all my stuff because it was all like winter hats and scarves and mittens and headbands and all that fun stuff. So when I would find these Ollie's deals, I would go in and buy pretty much everything they had because I didn't really care what color it was because it would sell.
Right.
And now I regret it only a teeny bit just because now I want to work with super colorful yarn and I have a lot of neutrals that I've kind of amassed over the years. But this is one of my go-tos. This is great for beginners. The reason I say this is I feel like it's easy to work with. It has, a lot of people go to like the blanket yarn because it's so big, but it's not easy for beginners to work with, I don't think, especially not with big hooks. I couldn't hear you.
It's very wormy. I don't like blanket.
Yes.
If you're not with your tension, it's going to be a hot mess.
Yes. So this is great, especially for beginners. It is a size 6. It is a super bulky. It is a true super bulky, in my opinion. Some say that they are and they're not. I say it's like women's jeans, though. You know, you never know what it's actually gonna be like until you try it.
Right.
So
Right.
this is my go-to, especially for beginners. If you don't use wool, the best option, I don't have one sitting here with me, but it's also Lion brand. It's the Hometown USA. So Hometown USA, very similar to this, but 100% acrylic. So if you can't, you know, what are you pointing at?
Miss Yarn, go get a Hometown USA. I know you have it back there.
I have Heartland. Wait a minute. Hometown. I don't have any hometown.
Really?
used
Let me grab one because
I
then I
used
can
it
show it to
all.
you guys.
What's
Yeah.
wrong with you?
I used it all.
Not to put you on the yarn spot, but
I got some that was red and blue when Lion Brand went for Jayhawks. And when Lion Brand had their like $1 a skein sale. And I made Jayhawk scarves and hats, you know.
hey, while Evelyn's away for a second.
Oh,
What do you want? No.
do you
What do you-
see that question from Carol that says, do you have any recommendations for a crochet hook for someone with limited hand control? Ooh,
Like, what
that-
size hook are you thinking, Carol?
Yeah, I like the Hometown because it has a little bit of a shine to it.
And it's more of primary colors.
Yeah.
So even the bright colors in Woolly's Thick and Quick, I like to say that they have an earthy feel, even
Mhm.
to the bright colors.
Yeah.
Whereas these are more primary. This is one of the ones that they've come out with this is like a lavender, and it's like a true lavender. It's kind of hard to see because of the
I
sun.
love
It's very pretty. And it's
But-
soft.
Yeah. Yeah. And people, you know, the only thing I don't like about this, I could not sell things made out of this at craft shows without it being packaged because it ages faster. It looks old faster. Whereas I can keep items made out of this Thick and Quick for, you know, 2 or 3 years in Tupperware and bring them out at a show and they look fine. You know, as long as I'm not wearing them, you know, if they're just being stored together. Whereas I used to put some of these hats, I made my cat ear hats out of these every year because I could sell them for like $30 and it was still affordable because these are like $3 at Walmart.
Right.
So I started putting these in packaging in like poly bags when I would leave them at, like, we have a cat cafe here. And I would leave them at the cat cafe to sell them. But if someone went and tried it on or was handling it, it would look aged a lot faster. So that's the only downside of these if you're buying it to sell, you know, or you're going to have to hang on to them. Go ahead, Kim.
Do you want to say hi? Yeah, you want to say hi? Hi, everyone.
It's Steven. Hi.
Hi.
Steven.
So that's Ginger and that's Evelyn. Hi, Evelyn.
Usually when it's just me, he's like, no.
Well, I also
You're
talk to
fun.
him 8 times during the week. He's like, that one again?
No.
Right over.
Mommy got stickers. Aren't they cute?
What is that guy?
This guy is Captain Crochet.
He's from
That's so cute.
He's a pirate, yep. And then this is Pink Sheep Designs.
the sea.
Mm-hmm.
I put one of them on.
Nope, these are Mommy's stickers.
Be like, nope.
Nope, those are mommies.
That's a nope.
Here's a question
I'll
That-
go get stickers from
that
upstairs.
that somebody has for you. Do you have any recommendations for a crochet hook for someone with limited hand control?
Probably not. I mean, just because, like, I've only tried what most people have tried.
Yeah.
I really do like my furls. That's actually a lot of what the ergonomics of mine were modeled after, were the furls handles. Yep. So I have 2 or 3 furls hooks that I like, and the lightness of them. Like, I really do like the lightness of their string lines. And then I just, you know, I have hooks from Walmart and Hobby Lobby, and I'm definitely one of those kind of collector styles. Is he crying because he couldn't have a sticker? Oh, yeah. It's the end of the world, man, when you can't have stickers.
It's okay.
Oh my goodness, he needs stickers.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you need a Captain Crochet hook and the Pink Sheep children's book. I totally think so, because like you could shear the pink sheep and then Captain Hook can make the hooks, and yeah, that would be a good children's book. You're right.
You gotta make it. You gotta make it.
I'm still trying to figure out, I want to make some kind of like intro crochet booklet, because we've talked about selling sets. So we've talked about selling, yes, you're right. Knit V. I see it in the comments. Go check her out, because yes, she has modified her hooks because she has nerve damage. And that helps her support her hands where they hit the hook and keep them from moving. So yes, please go check her out, because she is wonderful. And like her spirit, oh my gosh, love following her.
Love her. In fact,
Tested my overalls.
What's that?
She tested my overalls. And
That's
if you go to my Etsy shop,
yes.
the video on my Etsy shop for the overalls listing is her and her boyfriend. Husband. I don't know if they're married or not, but
right. Dancing.
Yes,
yes.
That's her and him.
Yes.
Yes. And I asked her, as soon as she sent me that, I was like, can I please have this as my Etsy shop listing? Because the fact that it's her and that it's a guy too, you know, I think that's like perfect for having that like diverse feel to like, you can make these for anyone. Anyone can wear these overalls, you know? So it was just wonderful. It made me so happy. So yes, follow her if you guys aren't.
Yeah. You know, and the thing is, I saw her wearing those before I saw you. And when I saw you, you reminded me of her a little bit.
She reminds me of me. That way.
Yeah.
We could totally be friends. Yes.
Totally. Oh, that's so neat. I love it.
Yeah. I have a few more yarns that I can show you real quick. And that way I don't forget, because I know this is the question I get the most. Like, so many people ask me what yarns I use with chunky hooks. Actually, speaking of the overalls, I used this, which is the Mandala Thick and Quick. It's 100%, 100% acrylic. So it's a nice wool option if you don't use wool. And this is also a 6. Okay. So I use this. I really do like this a lot. It's really great.
And how many cakes of those would you say you use? Like, I know it differs with size.
Yeah. So this is actually 87 yards. So they're quite a bit. And honestly, my overalls don't use a lot. So unless you're lengthening the legs, they don't use a lot of yarn. I think it's like 200 and something or 300 and something for the small.
That's nice.
So this is a great option for that, because you only need, maybe 4 or 5, maybe. If that, I don't know. I don't do the math right. 3 or 4.
I won't be. I won't be making a small.
Yeah. Well, but like I said, it's not too much. They don't take a ton, which is great, unless you're making them like long pants, and then they take a lot more.
Yeah, some long pants would be cute.
So I think that Woolies is like playing games. I mean, Lion Brand's playing games with this one. But the Woolies roving stripes, they have gone back and forth saying that they're discontinued and sold out and whatever. And I did a campaign where I got a whole bunch of people to go write reviews, pleading them to not stop making it, just because they're so pretty. Like the colors are so beautiful. And all of my testers went to like their Michaels stores and bought out all of them. And they were sharing their yarn hauls on Discord, because it was like $3 for one of these. And so they were buying all of them.
Yeah.
See right over there?
Yep.
I got a whole bunch of them.
Yeah. And we were trading. We were trading with each other, because some people had one color. And so I actually got enough to make my stepmom a sweater for Christmas next year in a color that she liked of this. Now, I don't know how they're going to age. I haven't had it long enough. So I have a feeling, because it's roving, that could be an issue. I will not be washing them. But I think they're, again, for the color factor for me, because it's on brand and because I don't sell finished products, this has been a lifesaver, because it's affordable and it's soft and it's easy to work with. So this is one that I really enjoyed using, and I have, quite a bit that I've at least amassed, and if they're truly getting rid of it. Then there's this, which has become my new favorite. So this is Hobby Bungee Mini.
Ooh.
It's a cotton polyester blend. This was the first pair of overalls that I made, was made out of these. They're like soft jumbo shoestrings. So I don't know if you some of the shoes that have the chunky, squishy shoestrings, that's what it feels like. And I made the overalls out of these as part of a challenge with Hobby. It was like the No Shades of Gray challenge that they did. So they sponsored the yarn for that because I'd never used this before. And it's awesome. So I'm going to be making some bags out of this. It's a true size 6. It's really easy to work with. Because it doesn't shed or pill or anything. I don't know if it pills. I haven't washed it, but it doesn't shed. It doesn't, break. I mean, because it's all structured, as like a little tube.
Does it come in
does it come in what?
a lot of colors?
Yes. There's probably like 15 colors available, and it's Hobby. So like the more you buy, the more you save, and then they have their sales. And I'm also using their ribbon yarn for the first time. That's the latest video that's on my Instagram and on my YouTube is my ribbon yarn. I'm talking about the ribbon yarn. That's a 5, and I'm putting it together to make some bags. And then the last one that I use a lot of that I really do like, but it's one of those that I have to hold it double stranded because it's a liar and it's not a 6. It says it's a 6. It's not a 6. And that is the Karen Chunky Cakes.
It is not a 6. Thank you.
It's not a 6.
Thank you. That's
Not even close.
No.
no.
And
It's a
people,
5.
and I feel really bad because people buy it because they're like, ooh, I can make like her entire pattern using this. And I'm like, no, you need to buy another one. You're going to need 2 strands.
Double that.
But it's beautiful and the colors are great. And I can't wait to use this one. That's going to be really fun. I don't know what I'm going to make with it yet, but I had to get it because it's so pretty.
Yeah.
Another 5 that I really like that they discontinued, Lion Brand, was Softball. I'm using that right now to create.
Yeah.
And it was their softball acrylic because they do still have a softball cotton that they say is a 5, but I haven't used it yet, so I don't know. But the acrylic was really pretty and it had a lot of colors. And I'm working on a cardigan right now for like a spring summer cardigan. But they discontinued it, so I guess I didn't realize that that's what was happening when I bought a whole bunch of it, that they weren't going to make it anymore. But
Do you have a Christmas tree shop near you, or something?
No.
No.
Not that I know of. I might, because it is Atlanta, and I feel like Atlanta has pretty much anything you'd want
Because
somewhere.
they got that huge Lion Brand closeout, and Softball's one of the yarns they got for $1.99.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm going to have to keep an eye out for that. Now that I follow you, I'm going to probably have a little bit more trouble not buying new yarn. But
That's my specialty.
I try, and it's because I had bought up so much of that Lion Brand woolly thick and quick because I was going to shows and I was using it all the time, but I just can't crochet like that anymore. I mean, I'm lucky if I can crochet a few rows on a project a day before my neck starts to hurt. And so, I just have to be, I'm more wise with my time. I mean, it's easy to say no now,
Okay.
I only make the things that I want to make because I only have so much time.
Right.
So,
Right.
Good morning.
If only we could crochet some more time, right? Oh, hey, I had another question about hooks. Have you ever thought about making Tunisian hooks?
Oh,
so the issue is print bed size because they're so long. The tallest hooks we make are these, and they're pushing the limits of how tall the printer can go, how high it can go. And the same with the width. That's why with yarn bowls, we're going to figure out our prototype. And if it's a hit, if people really like it, then it'll probably be time to get a bigger bigger printer that makes taller and wider sizes.
Now, could you make a Tunisian double-ended hook, or the Tunisian hooks that there's a hook on this end, and then has the string in between it?
So the issue usually is printing, and that was what happened with this one. The reason that the cone base came into play was because it can sit up by itself on the print bed.
Right.
And if you print it this way, it's great, but then you're going to have supports that have to be created around the bottom, and the more supports you have, the more trash that you have on the hook that you have to sand off. And this allows us to only have support in the neck, and everything else is nice and smooth. So it helps in the end because we don't spend as much time post-process. Because the more post-process, the more expensive they are. And as we get that, that's our hope, is actually to figure out a way to maybe even offer more affordable hooks, because right now they are expensive. They're on the expensive side. They're less than Furl's brand for the same sizes. So like if if you're looking at jumbo hook sizes and you're not buying them off of Amazon, they're right in line with what would be normal for like a handcrafted hook.
Yeah.
But we get that it's expensive. And so one of the things actually that I was going to share with you guys, if you haven't seen it yet, we're looking at potentially selling like a DIY version. So you would get a hook straight off the printer. We would sand it, but that's it. So you would get this sanded plastic hook and you can decorate it. You can coat it however you want to. You can paint it. You can Sharpie on it. You can do white, but you would be in charge then of figuring out how you want to coat it. So whether that's dabbling in resin, if you want to try to coat it with resin, if you want to coat it with Mod Podge, if you want to coat it with whatever, you can play around with it. But those we'd be able to sell them really cheap because we would have no post-processing. We wouldn't be coating it. We would only be sanding the actual hook part.
Or if you didn't want to coat it with anything, it would make an amazing photo prop.
Yes, exactly.
Oh my God, that would be, I would totally be on board with that. Oh, that would be
so awesome. That's the goal. Yeah. So we bought some matte white printer filament from Cookie CAD, which has become one of our new favorites because their customer service is just amazing. And they actually, they started by, they created their business around this idea of people starting their own business, making cookie cutters. So learning how to use 3D software, they actually have their own software where you can upload the design of your cookie cutter, and then they can create the STL file that then you can print using their filaments. So they have lots of filaments. And some of like bakers use it too. So the bakers will sell cookies and sell cookie cutters. And so we buy, filament from them, and we bought matte white. So I'm actually, let me grab it really quick. I'm actually Sharpieing on one right now that's like a silky white, and I'll show you guys.
Oh, I know. I was thinking if she made the Tunisian hooks, I would buy them. I would get them all.
So I did Sharpie on this one.
I love that.
But I'm not that great with freehand, so I just did something really simple.
Shut your mouth. That's beautiful.
No,
not that great.
But I had to do something. People were like, you need to do like rainbows and like pictures of sheep. And I was like, man, I'm good if I can do a flower. So we're going to do flowers. And I just did the little repeating pattern and used Sharpie. So even though the Sharpies did bleed a little bit, kind of tell just because of the ridging. But I think once it gets coated, it'll really pop. I think the colors will pop more. So I still got some work to do on it. But I wanted this to kind of be our marketing piece. And I've taken pictures along the way so that if we are able to release these white hooks, like these kind of primed hooks, I can then sell this idea of like, you could even just use Sharpies, if you're not set or acrylics or whatever, you could just use a Sharpie and draw on it. And it's a coloring book,
That's such a great idea.
Different ideas. And what can we do that's not out there right now?
Bears Crochet Critters had a question. Can you print more complex shapes like a drop spindle?
So this is what's interesting right now. The design software that I used to create the hooks is called Tinkercad. Tinkercad is free web-based software. So anyone can play around with it and create things, but it's limited. It's limited in the things that you can do. And so my husband now is actually learning AutoCAD, Fusion 360. And he's taking like night classes. I don't know who's crunching.
Yeah. What does that sound?
I think it's you.
Me?
No.
Me?
I don't know now. That's weird.
But there's somebody listening in, crunching, like eating a lollipop.
I have no idea.
Hold on.
Is it me? That is so weird.
Yeah, I don't know. Someone said it's been going on for a while.
Oh. Yeah, I think it's you, Kim.
Is that better?
No.
Right back.
Well, I'll say he is, it's doing it still. he is learning AutoCAD because he can make more extensive and detailed designs. So he'll be able to do a lot more. We can maybe do more hook designs, you know, with yarn bowls, anything like that. We'll be able to get a lot more specific in things that we can do and more detailed. And so that's really exciting that he's doing that. So he's doing like kind of taking classes at night now. To try it out. So that could really open the door for us to create some much more extensive designs.
Yeah, that is very exciting.
And
Is
he
that better?
loves the crochet community, by the way. I think it's better.
Yay.
Maybe. I think so.
You're freeze framing, but
Yeah.
I can't
Yay,
hear
I
I
closed it and
can't
came
hear
back in.
crunching.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. So we'll take
You're
the
just-
freeze framing. Over
Okay.
something.
We'll take the freeze framing.
But yeah, he has gotten so much gratification from being able to help, because I think he's realizing how much these tools help people.
Yeah.
So the more things, and like the gauge, I never made gauge swatches, like not until I started designing. I didn't do that. You know, I was like, I don't have time for that, you know. But
Right.
he started having, like, now that people follow him on his Instagram, he'll post crochet stuff, and he can ask for feedback from people that aren't just me that use things. And he made that gauge swatch all by himself. I didn't do any of that. That was all
Wow.
him. He designed it. He printed it. It was like a surprise for me that he had put it together. And so he's just gotten so much out of being able to help people and create these tools that, you know, really do help. And like for him to hear that our hooks, we had one girl, she was working on a design for me as a tester, and she had to buy the specific hook for the design, and she didn't buy it from us. She just bought one like on Amazon. And I reached out to her because we were getting close to the deadline, and I said, you know, how's it going? And she said, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm having so much pain making this. I bought this new hook and it's just not working. Everything I do, like, I'm crocheting super carefully because it just hurts, you know?
Yeah.
And so we actually sent her one of our hooks for free, just because I was like, I want to see if it makes a difference. Like, I really want to see if it will help, or if it's just, if she's having other issues right now. And she ended up finishing the test in time, even though she only had like 2 days left, because she was able to power through it with the new hook because it wasn't painful.
Oh, that's great.
And
That's
Matt
awesome.
was like, he was like, this is why I want to do this. Like, I don't crochet, and you know, we don't make a ton of money off of the hooks just because of the time that goes into it and the resin and all of this equipment that we have. But it's so helpful for people. You know, let's keep doing this because it really does make a difference. And we're putting something out there that doesn't exist really in that realm. You know, there are a few that are similar, and they're and I also know that it's not going to be for everybody. You know, I love furls. Some people hate furls. Some people it doesn't work for them. So I have to be ready for that too, that our hooks may not work for every single person. But I know that for at least a small portion, they will, and they'll be helpful just like they were for me. So,
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
so
And I know if you made the big Tunisian hooks, a lot of people would buy them.
well, and that's something I really do think when, as he's learning the AutoCAD software, I really think that'll open the door for him to make different designs and new designs and things that we can't do on Tinkercad.
Yeah. Yeah, because yeah. Awesome. Now, have you ever tried mosaic crocheting with the big hooks or with chunky yarn?
So
because I'm going to try that.
It all goes back
exciting.
to patience that I don't have. So all of my designs are as simple as they are, because I don't wanna spend that much time counting and changing and weaving in ends. And the most complicated design that I have out now is actually my Jenny sweater. And it's because I actually built in striping instructions. And that was actually really difficult for me, because getting the striping right for every single size was a whole new ball game. And that, I mean, I'm so thankful for the testers that stuck through me for that test, because that was really bad. That was like 4 different versions that ended up having to go out, and like some people stuck around for the whole thing, but I finally got it. You know, it just took a lot of work to get it all right, to get the sizing right. But that was the most complicated when it came to color, and it was just stripes. You know, it was just like variegated striping that like the stripes got smaller as they went up the sweater.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I don't, no. So most of the ones that I do now, I try to keep it super, super simple. And then people can play around with color if they want to, you know, and make stripes and do things. But I keep it simple.
Yeah, and that's what a lot of people want. I mean, a lot of people want, you know, the very intricate, almost very small hook that looks like knitting.
Yeah.
You know, and there is a time and a place for that. But when, like, sometimes when you're just wanting to crochet through the yard and make something awesome.
Yeah, I think my patterns are like the Netflix and crochet patterns. You can totally do something else while you're making my patterns.
Right.
Whereas other ones you need to hyper focus.
Either, or you realize 5 rows down of using an F hook.
Yeah. Yeah.
That you've messed up and you have to frog like 12 hours of work.
Weren't we just talking about anxiety? Like, why would you do that to yourself?
I need something that's mindless. Not completely mindless, but at least that is soothing.
Yes, exactly. And like I said, that's really where I'm coming from, is that more of an instant gratification, you know, because you finish faster, and then more of a meditative type of pattern where you really can just kind of zone out and, you know, not have to focus so much on stitch counting and things like that.
Right.
So I think we lost Kim.
Oh. I'm going to see if my son's going.
There we go. Oh, yep. The internet's not like you today.
The internet is not your friend
Today.
I
love technology.
One of the best movies of all time, I might say. That and Little Miss Sunshine.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Love Little Miss Sunshine.
So let's see if there are some more questions.
Yeah.
Does anybody have some questions for Evelyn? Oh, Coco is fashionably late again.
I arrived precisely when I meant to. Not the wizards are never late.
Yeah.
They arrive precisely when they mean to.
Is this a Harry Potter thing?
No, Lord of the Rings.
Okay.
Gandalf.
I was going to say, I have no idea what you're talking about.
I see the orange to gold ombre is beautiful. I want to see black and rose gold glitter. Yeah, that should be really cool. The rose gold is supposed to get here this weekend. The hooks are actually finished, so they need to be sanded. Once they're sanded, we will be able to coat them. And usually we wait until we can get anywhere from 20 hooks ready to coat, because we don't want to waste the resin. At least 12. I think 12 is like the minimum before we'll coat. So we'll have to have at least a certain amount ready, and then we'll pour the resin and mix it up and coat.
Yeah. So what does it smell like when you're making the hooks? Is it very fumy?
No. So we use a 0 VOC resin.
Me?
So we actually don't have to. Huh?
I muted myself.
No, she didn't.
We can hear you, Kim. Don't say any bad words.
Yeah. But yeah, we use 0 VOC resin. So we don't have to use respirators. We only use respirators when we're sanding. So because you're technically sanding plastic. So, we wear protective stuff when we're sanding, and when we're sanding the resin. So sometimes we'll have to sand the resin if there are spots or bubbles or things like that. But during the actual resin coating process, it's 0 VOC. So we don't have to worry about anything like that, which is awesome. Because there are some resins out there where you need to wear protective equipment, but this one is not the case.
Yeah, so. I was thinking like acrylic resin, I think.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, this is it's called artist's resin is what we use, and it's actually for kind of pour. Like you could pour this and create like tabletops and floors. And things like that. But we actually paint the resin on. We have tried dipping, but it's like, oh boy. Yeah, not a good time. Not a good time. And a lot of waste, but we tried it. You have to try. And a lot more dripping, a lot more pooling because it was hard to control when it was going to settle. So right now we just paint it on. Yeah, but it's a process, like we're still learning and we're still trying to get it down. And like I used to go really light on my resin coating, and then I ended up feeling like we needed to put another coat on for it to be super smooth. So I've had to figure out like when to have a heavier hand, on putting the resin, especially on like the top, because sometimes I would go so light that it almost didn't coat the top, and that's where you really want it to be able to slide through the yarn. So I've had to learn, how much to put on there and how thick to put it on. So learning a lot.
Yeah.
Recommended hook size for the Lion brand homespun. Okay, so homespun. That's actually, I have my homespun. Okay, so I made a Luna with homespun. Here we go. So this is my Luna. I'll put it on. Make more sense.
Susan, it's 10 o'clock here. Evelyn and I are on the East Coast, and Ginger is in Central Time. Yeah. So it's 9 o'clock where she is.
Okay.
So that's pretty.
Yeah, that's super cute.
This is my Luna pattern. I'm actually retesting it right now because I wanted to add more sizes. When I released it, it only had 3 sizes. So it had like an extra small, a medium large, and an XL 2X. But I'm going to expand it to have my full range of sizing, which is like 5 or 6 sizes.
And is that the one that you're using the homespun on?
Yes. So this is homespun. It is double stranded. Okay. So this is double stranded homespun, and I used a 15 millimeter hook. So that's my recommendation, is if you're using homespun, double it up. It makes it easier to work with to me, because it's just that chunkier feel. I'm the same. I hated using homespun, and I had all of this in a little bin in my closet of all these different colors, because I think this is probably 10 different colors of leftover homespun. And so it's very, very helpful. And like I said, that's a 15. I don't have a 15 over here, but this is a 14. So this is one of my 14 millimeter hooks, I think. Yeah.
That is gorgeous. I love the rainbow. Yeah.
So this is actually, to me, it almost looks like a store-bought cardigan when I'm wearing it out, which, I mean, not in a bad way. Like it's it looks more like something I would have gone out and purchased for myself versus looking homemade, which is really cool, because most of my stuff, it looks obviously homemade to me. Whereas this one, I just love the way that it worked up.
Yeah, I've made cardigans with a homespun before, and just the way, I know what you mean.
Yeah. And it definitely, it's already gotten some, like, all the fluffies, and, I haven't washed it or anything, but, it's kind of like that. It's not a bad thing. I have cardigans that I've bought that have done that. So I'm like, and this one is kind of cool. You could add buttons to this one. It has the same kind of ribbing that my, Granger cardigan has, where you can put the buttons on there.
Yeah. So and you can make it like longer too, if you wanted to.
Yep.
That's what I love about your patterns. They're so adjustable, and
that's my goal, especially if you're an experienced crocheter. You can look through my pattern and you'll easily be able to see where to add length, because most of my patterns start out making the back and then adding the panels so that it kind of come over the shoulders. So you'll be able to look at it and immediately say, oh, I just need to lengthen the back panel and the front panels, and then I've got all that extra length. I've had people add pockets here on this particular pattern.
That would be.
Or shorten the sleeves. Again, like my Granger pattern has like the 3/4 length sleeves, but that's just shortening the sleeve and making the cuff a little bit shorter and moving it up a little bit. So there's a lot of options. And I like that. I think that's, it makes it fun.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and like I was able to shrink it down to a baby size.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. And somebody asked if I had a recommended hook size for homespun. So if you're holding a size 6 by itself, it'd probably be like an 8 to a 10 for holding it alone, millimeters. But I tended to double up on some of those, and then that will make it more. Actually, for my wearables, like the Luna, I think I made mine with Lion Brand Thick and Quick, not this one, but the one that is photographed throughout the pattern. And that one I used a 15, but I crochet really tightly. So most of my testers have to size down in their hook size when they're testing for me. So if I used a 15, they might have used a 12 to test for me to match my gauge. So that's why I say like 8 to 12 holding it single is probably enough for the majority of my patterns. Let's see. I've never had the chance to make a cardigan. Love crochet. Yes. So one of the things that I really wanted, I think like, you know how it's like baby's first book. I feel like this is like baby's first cardigan because I wanted it to be super simple for anyone. If it's your first time making a wearable, for you to feel confident to make it. I also make sure that when I choose my testers, I like to bring people on who've every now and then at least have one person who's maybe never made a wearable, because that's really going to tell me whether or not it's truly beginner friendly. If I bring on a tester who this is their first time making a cardigan or making something other than, hats, but usually I'll choose someone, maybe they've made more intricate hats or things like that, but they've just never made a wearable because it feels overwhelming. And so that's really my goal for my patterns, is to let anyone can do it. I promise you can do it. It doesn't take long. I have testers who finish these cardigans in 2 or 3 days because they just work up so quickly. And so that's a great feeling,
To know that you don't have to spend like 2 weeks making this crazy cardigan. Like even this, it was a very simple cardigan to make, but since I used a size H, what is that, 5 millimeter hook and a 3-weight yarn.
Yeah.
It took a couple of weeks.
Yeah. Yes, I agree. Make wearables and wear them around the house and be proud of them, because it's a lot of work. And I like to say that in my I like to say that in my patterns. I like to have that excitement of like, go show it off, take pictures, show people. It's exciting.
Oh, yeah.
Even if it's not perfect the first time, you're learning new skills and you're going to keep growing. So, and I see someone ask, where can I get your pattern from? I think there's links in the description. All of my patterns are in my Etsy shop. I'm still working to get more of my patterns on Ravelry. I think I have like 3 patterns on Ravelry right now. I just wasn't on there a lot. And so I'm continuing to add them, but then they link out to my Etsy shop to actually purchase them.
And then you've also got a couple of patterns on your blog.
I do. I have, and I actually, if you go to my blog, which I think that's in the bio too, I finally created a tab on my blog that lists my free patterns, because they used to just kind of get lost in the blog somewhere. It's hard to find them. So there's a tab, and I have like the hooded cat cowl with the little kitty ears, and a little scrappy, super simple scrappy cowl. And then the Dobby cardigan, which was actually made as part of the Furls blog hop last year. And then a couple others, but those are some of my favorites. And I do want to do more. I have a plan. I used to make little friendship rings for when I was at shows. So it was like BFF rings. And I used embroidery floss and a teeny tiny hook, which is crazy because it was exact opposite of what I make.
Right.
It was a quick pattern because it's so little. So I think that'll be a free pattern that I want to do in the coming months. So
that'll be
great
neat.
for craft shows, So
it's great for summertime too, because like a lot of times in the summertime, you don't want to be crocheting something that's like a blanket or something like that.
Yep. And summer patterns were a little overwhelming for me, the idea of them, because I'd always only crocheted winter items. So this summer, I've really been pushing myself to, like, I released the Mariner crossbody bag. And so that's really fun because it's summertime. It's a bright bag. It's great. I'd never had that was my first bag pattern. And then I have my summer. It's actually, I decided the name is going to be the Pomona tea. And that's Pomona Sprout. So Professor Sprout from Harry Potter. So I kind of snuck that in there. And so that one is being tested, and it's just a fun little kind of a large, like a tank top, because it doesn't have true sleeves, but it's like the wide strap tank. And that's being tested right now. So really trying to push myself to design more of the summer type stuff.
And didn't you say you have some halter top?
So I have 2 crop top patterns.
Crop top,
One of them is a halter option.
Mhm.
That is the Rachel. And then my everyday crop top has 3 strap options. So you can do 2 straps where they start up here and then they crisscross down the back so that they only tie at the back. So you don't have something around your neck, because I know that for some people it's just not doable.
Right.
But then you have the 6 strap option where you can have it halter and tie once and then tie again. So there's 3 spots to tie. So there's some cool options, and it's a super simple shape for that pattern for the everyday crop top. Ribbler, I have not. So that's one that I need to look into. I have not. I don't think I have an account or anything on there. There's all these things that I have to try.
Go back.
I know.
Hi. We did one all about Ribbler one week.
Okay, I'll definitely do that. Yeah, because like I said, I don't know. I think I looked into it once, but I have not hopped on there. And I'm actually, like I said, I'm taking next week off. So I'm hoping that next week, from my full-time job, I'm hoping that next week I can really take some time to sit down, update Ravelry, hop on Ribbler, try some things with that I haven't had time. Is the Pomona Tea bulky yarn? Yes. So the Pomona Tea is actually 2 strands of size 5 held together. I used Made in America yarn, their cotton roving. It's like a bulky cotton roving.
Oh, neat.
Made in America is having a Memorial Day sale right now.
There you go. Yeah. So I used their cotton bulky with seed. One of them had the little seeds of color in there. And I held 2 of those strands together. My testers are using the Hobby Lobby brand of cotton. So they had a bulky softball style cotton from Hobby Lobby. I can't remember what it's called. It's the cakes. You posted one because Lion Brand Yarn made a version that looks just like it. They look exactly the same. So Hobby Lobby has a brand and Lion Brand has the number 5 cotton. That's the twisty. Yeah, the softball type.
Is it kind of like this? Because Walmart has something a little like it too.
Yep, it's that style. And I didn't know. I was talking to the people at Made in America Yarns, and I don't know if you guys know that they're a part of a larger mill that processes the big. So they told me that softball is actually that type of yarn. The way that yarn is spun, it's called softball. So I didn't know that that's actually a genre of yarn, and it's not just a name that somebody came up with for the yarn. So that was a little trivia for me.
That's cool.
And so they're using that, the Hobby Lobby brand. Someone's using number 5 cotton. I have a couple of people using lighter weight cotton, and they're holding it 3-stranded or 4-stranded. So I think somebody's using the bamboo blend from Lion Brand. Can't remember what it's called.
Trubu?
Probably. Yep.
Trubu's 40% off right now at Joann's this weekend.
Yeah. And I think Karen Cotton Cakes. I have a couple people using Karen Cotton Cakes held triple for this one. So there's a lot of options for this one. And since it's meant to be a little layered piece, I wore it over a little tank top or over a little, cute bralette top. Some people are doing it a little more airy. So they're holding 2 strands of lighter weight cotton together, and it's going to have a little bit more of a different look to it.
Right.
So that'll be kind of nice to be able to show the different options for that one.
Yeah.
And thank you. Someone shared the link to the Dobby pattern. It is free on my blog too. There just aren't as many photos. So if you like to have a lot of photos to follow, you can buy the pattern on my Etsy shop. And then I see the beach cover up. So I had a lot of people tell me that they want me to extend my new Pomona top the way that it's created and extend it and make it into a little dress and have a little tie. So that maybe in the future, because ever since the overalls and the rompers, people have been asking me to create something similar as a dress. So I know that has to be in my future at some point.
You know what I was thinking would be really cute too? My daughter sent me what's that big comfy thing she sent me?
Blanket hoodie?
A blanket hoodie?
Things.
I was thinking that putting 3 strands together and making a big hoodie blankie would be awesome.
Well, and I figured I should make a robe, like a blanket yarn robe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like something that's like a house robe out of blanket yarn. Because I feel like that would make sense. It'd be on brand for me using the chunky yarn, and I feel like I could figure out a way to make it very simple. Because again, that's my goal. I want to break the elements down of these
Mhm.
different things into like their most simple elements.
Mhm.
And that way it doesn't get too complicated or too complex. The stitches aren't going to be complex. One of the ideas I have for next winter, I kind of want to do a single crochet line where
Mhm.
like the whole pattern is single crochet.
Oh, that's a good idea.
And I don't know if it'll work, but I think it'd be cool. It's just it'd be novel, to have all you need to know for this is single crochet. Like if you can chain and you can single crochet, you can make these items and have like a couple of items. So we'll see if
yeah.
that comes to fruition.
It can be done. If you can think of it, it can be done.
Definitely. Yeah. Please make a robe. I swear I was just thinking I want to crochet a robe 2 days ago. Yeah. And you could have pockets and we can have a little strap, and maybe do like not quite long sleeve, but
Right.
you can extend them if you want to. Because I'm the type of person who I like to roll my sleeves up. I'm always pushing my sleeves up.
Oh yeah.
So that's why when I made the Ginny and the Granger cardigans, those two sweaters have quarter length sleeves. So that way I'm not always pushing my sleeves up to like wash my hands or be in the kitchen or making things, so that helped me.
Yeah. I love the 3/4 length sleeves too. They're like perfect.
Mm-hmm. My yarn and crochet supply organization tips.
Great
yeah,
question.
Is it the Lax, the IKEA Lax? Is that the brand that makes the big open square shelves? I think that's the one. But I finally got one. So we actually bought them because if you search for storage for the LP records, the large vinyl, that's usually what comes up because IKEA makes these bookshelves that have a wide enough cube to fit the large records in them. And my husband had a huge collection of records. And so we have an IKEA here in Atlanta. So we went to IKEA and we bought some and we, filled that one up. And I said, this would be amazing for yarn, so, and I've seen people who've used it for yarn. So we went back and I finally got one of those shelves it's actually our guest room. So our upstairs guest room is my yarn room, my craft room. And so we got one of those. That's been super helpful because it's actually just high enough to where I can stand at it and like write my thank you notes too. So I got
that's
size
nice.
where I can actually use the top very functionally.
Oh, what? You don't have it stacked high on your 10-foot ceiling?
And that's something I really do. That room needs an overhaul to really make it a little more functional for me. Because right now we actually inherited one of those huge real wood dresser sets that used to go in like kids' rooms. It's cool, but it's not functional because the desk on it is for like a little kid, so I can't use the desk. So I just stack crates on top of the desk to make more storage. The drawers are kind of good, but then again, you end up hiding things and you have to remind yourself what's in the drawers.
Right.
And so at some point I would love to get rid of those or donate them somehow but they're family, but it's like not family where it's like cherished. It's just, you kind of feel bad getting rid of it because it was in the family.
Yeah.
Because it's not that old. And so at some point I would love to replace that with something that's a little more workable. But it's really just, I love tubs and Tupperwares and, I try to get the see-through ones so I know what's in the box. So I'm not just casting it aside and never going to find it again or know what's in there.
Right.
Actually, Home Depot has some really great, they're like $3 or $4 and they're a pretty good sized tub and they have the interlocking lids that open and close and they stack.
Nice.
So those are really nice. And I have a feeling they're probably everywhere, but I have used those a lot and I buy them for my husband for the garage, for all of his stuff in the garage. We have a whole one full of sandpaper, a whole one full of like zip ties and things like that. So they've been really great organizationally and they're cheap. So they're like $4.
Sherry, it's not Native American yarn. It's Made in America yarns.
Yes. Made in America.
Made in America yarns.
Yeah. Yes. And they're really great. The people that run it, it's a family run business. And I got to speak with the wife and
are they in Philadelphia? Where are they at?
Yes, they're in Philadelphia.
I got a good memory.
But really, really sweet people. And I really enjoyed getting to work with them. And they did say they'll probably send me some more yarn to try out for other patterns so I can try out some of their
great.
other yarns and share that with you guys. I mean, and it's been really great because, again, people are always asking what yarn to use. And so the fact that some of these companies are willing to send me yarn to try out and share has been great because I can't buy all of it. You know,
Yeah.
I can't buy all the chunky yarn. So it's
So if you were interested in doing more of that, kind of like working with American companies that produce yarn, there's a really good website called needletravel.com.
I'll check it out. I haven't heard of that.
And it'll search all different shops and businesses and stuff that have to do with a bunch of different fiber crafts. And also there's a live we did a while ago about Made in America yarns. And there's some
Oh, cool.
because that's like kind of one of my little passion projects as far as fiber is concerned.
Yeah.
Any,
Yeah,
but
it's been really cool getting to see, you know, and I understand, especially like, you know, I would never expect smaller makers, like people who hand spin and hand dye, like obviously, you know, I understand that like you can't give your stuff away, you know, like that's never,
Right.
but there are larger companies who are looking to expand and grow, and this whole influencer thing, it really makes a difference, you know, when you have someone who can, because you can cheer yourself on as much as you want, but until people see, oh, someone else used it and they agree, and it's
Right.
so that's been very beneficial for everybody, you know.
Off the top of my head, a really good one is Harrisville Designs in New Hampshire.
Oh,
They're
cool.
actually in a factory that's been used for hundreds of years. The whole town is on the historic register because it's a historic mill town. They're
cool.
really cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, there's so much.
Kim deep researches everything.
Deep dive. That's one of my top 3 characteristics. I love to do in-depth research. Big fan.
I mean, when I talked to her the first time, she knew the kindergarten I went to and my teacher's name.
I didn't stalk you on Facebook. Shut your mouth.
That's awesome. Well, that's okay. I mean, I don't doubt it because you guys were totally stalking me at the last live, and that was awesome. I loved going back and watching that.
I was, and I completely stalked you even more all week on your social media.
Oh, when you were gone, Kim, Evelyn was talking about Knit V, and we were totally stalking her last night.
Oh,
Yep.
We
She's
really
wonderful.
like her. Yeah.
Sorry, when I was trying to fix the audio connection problems, but that I think that cross my fingers now are fixed.
It does seem like you're in. It's much better right now. Your feet are much better.
Good.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm gonna use the restroom real quick. I'll be right back.
Okay.
I want to like leave.
We'll be here.
I feel like can I go to the bathroom? Can I?
Yeah.
Call pass.
Go ahead. Bye.
We'll pass.
So people have been asking what I'm making. So what I'm doing is I just grabbed something to start using this 14 millimeter hook. So I am using I'm using 4 strands, but it's Premier Serenity Chunky, the stuff I hauled from Dollar Tree.
Okay.
And it's in 7 Seas and Berry Burst. So it looks like that together. But I was all bumming when I bought it because I was like, oh, I wish they had it in white. It would be really cool and patriotic. But look at it.
Ooh, I like that. It's cool because you never know what the colors are going to look like together when you start holding 2 strands until after you.
No, that's 4.
That's 4. Nice.
I don't know. Making like a cowl thing, maybe.
Nice.
Ish. Not wide enough yet, but
Ish.
Yeah.
You should make a hooded cowl with that. And then trim it with red fur.
I don't like fur.
Oh, that could make a.
I'm kidding.
That would be a cute head warmer or messy bun head warmer.
That's fine. That's what I
Gorgeous. Gorgeous.
yarn and start making something. I'm using the ginger method. That
What's
could be a cow, and that could be a cow, and that, and that, and that, and that, and never put a button on it.
Right?
Good job.
I just have to make the circular cowls that require no button.
Yeah. Right.
I have to make something that is made in the same day.
Oh. Well, hi to anybody we missed in the chat or our lurkers. I really appreciate you guys. And make sure you check out all Evelyn's links down in the description box to see where you can find her and follow her and check out all her awesomeness. Oh, free shipping Monday at Joann's. Thanks, Michelle.
Oh, also, I wanted to tell everybody that Joann's also has 40% off milk cartons. Or not milk cartons, milk crates.
Oh,
You
I
know
was
those
like, why do I
plastic
want a
milk
milk carton?
crates?
Am I making
Mhm.
a birdhouse? What am I doing?
Yeah, milk crates. I don't know what that makes the price. I just saw the 40% off crates.
I'm also going to go use the facility for a second. I'll be right back.
The facility.
The facility. Potty break.
Nice. I totally have been not paying attention to the text.
Yeah, I just looked.
Yeah.
And I was going to tell you guys too, if you like, I got my little hooker tee.
That is so cute.
So this was my first ever Procreate design. So we got Procreate and I was like, let me try something cool. And I got this one and that like spurred into all the stickers that are in my Etsy shop and then all of my apparels in my bonfire shop. I don't know if that's down there or not, but I made this one so that it's like the outline, but then I have the color one and then I have one that's like a tattoo flash style that says hooked, and then I have the knitter, and then I also have, it's not on t-shirts yet, but I have the seamstress. It's a sticker only right now on Etsy, but that's been so much fun. Like that was a whole nother ball game when I started designing outfits. Yeah, someone put it in the thank you. Someone put it down there. That's my bonfire shop. There's lots and lots of stuff, and bonfire is amazing. So if any of you guys out there, you know, if you have a logo and you want to put it on a shirt or anything like that, it's free to set up an account. There are all of these products you can put your stuff on, and it's super easy to use. So if you want to sell clothing, it makes it awesome. So easy. So I love it.
So two of the things that I wanted to ask you was, one, do you have a gauge ruler you can show everybody? Because you've talked about it a lot, but I don't know if people exactly know what you're talking about.
Crochet gauge.
So why are the holes so big on the side?
For the hooks. Yeah. So this is 18 and there's the 18s up here. So you can measure, you can measure your hooks, and they actually like slide in there.
Cool.
So, yeah. So I have room right on that one. But yeah, it goes from 10 to 25. So this is like super on brand for me because it's the hooks that we make and it's the sizes that I make. And all of my gauges for my patterns are a 4x4. So that's why we did the 4x4. It doesn't have markers. It is not actually like a ruler.
Yeah.
This is dimensionally accurate. We made sure to check everything's dimensionally accurate. But you can just lay that on top of your stuff. And we do have some of these in our shop. We're doing it as a grab bag option. So it's like a mystery color, just because we use our scrap filament. So it's just leftover filament from our hooks.
Oh, do you have more up there? Because it only said there was 2 left when I got mine.
Let's see.
And I bought mine a couple days ago.
Yeah, let's see.
There's been a run.
Right. I need to make sure that we have some. Let me check because we do have some left. I'll need to add some more.
That's okay.
Options. Let's see. Yeah, there's one left right now. So let me add a few more because I do know that he's made a couple more since then. So I'm going to add a few more to the listing. And we only did, like I said, we do this because if you guys have an Etsy, you know how time consuming putting listings up are. And so that's why for these, I was like, I'm just going to do a grab bag. They're all going to be pretty fun colors. Yeah. And then if you do have a preference, like Kim said, anything but pink, you can totally put that in the notes. So if you have a color that you really don't want, you can let me know.
Pink would be like super, super off brand for me. They'd be like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah. And I do have, I have a black one. That was just one that he made. So I think he made that like yesterday, the day before. So if someone wants the black one, tell me. It's so off brand for me
I'm such a bummer. I would have totally snagged that.
Yeah. So if you want a black one, include a note that you want the black one because we do have one black one, and I feel bad sending it out when people know that I send colorful things out and then they get a black one. So if you want the black one, tell me.
Flowers.
But yeah.
Oh, thank you, beautiful. That's all Mommy's coffee. Oh, I got flowers.
Oh, they're so cute.
That's so
plastic? Those are cute.
Orange, green, green. There's
Orange, green, green.
greens.
Green, yeah.
And blue.
Oh, I love it. It's beautiful. Thank you.
That little voice.
It is a rainbow. I love you. Thank you, rainbow boy. You're stepping on my crochet. How does Mommy feel about
Ginger,
that?
you need another baby? Is that what you
I do.
That's what I'm thinking. Like,
you have
I
a
don't think you need any
grandchild
more
that you can have
babies.
fun with and then give back. Please. Sometimes I want to give these two back. Kidding. I love them dearly. Sometimes mommy needs mommy time, though.
Yeah.
I hear you.
That's correct, Yegos, because every L is a Y right now. So he's got a Yeg.
Yego.
And these are Yegos. And Steve's like, you need to fix that. I'm like, I do not need to fix that. That's very cute. Shut your mouth.
We'll deal with it later.
That's right. I'm just going to be able to experience this once in my life. I'm going to make it
He's not
last as
gonna
long
get
as possible.
Rejected from preschool because he makes his L's a Y.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about The Office when Michael Scott is talking to Andy and he's telling me, you can't talk baby talk in the office. Little baby has a boo-boo tummy.
And then I had another question for you.
Uh-huh.
Let's talk about your stickers for a second.
Love your stickers.
Did you talk about that when I was disappeared? Because I
We
couldn't
talked about my
talk?
shirt because I wore my shirt.
That shirt.
And somebody did
awesome.
put it. Somebody did put it in the link in the chat for my bonfire shop.
That's Whisper Barbara, the best
Yes.
helper ever.
Yeah, so my favorite shirts, I'm so glad they offer them in Bonfire, are the Comfort Colors. So this is the Comfort Colors brand t-shirt, and I just the colors are so great. I have a really pretty lavender one that someone mentioned, the F off design that I have, and I finally bought one in lavender. I'm wearing it in the last video that I put on Instagram. But I've tried to make them where you can get colorful ones, you can get outlines, you can get colorful shirts, you could get even a white shirt. I'm thinking about even buying some of the white versions and like tie-dyeing them here at the house and selling them. But like there's just lots of options for getting creative. And I just added like some little mugs on the shop too. So but all of my stickers are in my Etsy shop. So I have
is that naughty mug? Is the naughty one a mug?
Yes, I think.
Oh.
If it's not, I need to update it. But I think I added it as a mug. If it's not up, I know it's on a bag for sure too.
Yeah.
But yeah, so my Etsy shop has
I'll get you one in a minute.
3 tarot stickers, which is the knitter, the hooker, and the seamstress. And I want to add more. It's just the designs. If I force it, then I end up working on it for like 45 hours and then I still hate it. So I have to wait until I'm feeling creative to do new ones, because I would love to do the spinner and the weaver and like some of these other crafty designs. I have the F off I'm crocheting in my Etsy shop as a sticker. I have a new one. I haven't listed it yet. And it's funny because like I said, I can knit. I have knit. I have nothing against people who knit. But I did decide to make a sticker that has a skull and crossbones, but the crossbones are my hooks because I really wanted something that had that hook design, and it says death before knitting. So for anyone who is a hardcore crocheter and does not knit, I just thought it'd be fun.
I love that.
Very on brand for you. For that shirt. Do you follow Alt Knots?
I don't know.
Alt KNOTS. She would be all over that like you don't even believe.
Oh yeah, she would.
Time. And she also would be super into your black gauge ruler, like you don't even know.
Oh, black hooks.
Oh yeah. Oh, I see her. I think I found her. She's not following me. I'm gonna follow her now though.
She's also got a YouTube channel.
Yes, and I see most of her feed is TikToks. So
yeah,
or reels. I don't know. Actually, TikToks or reels. Yeah, let me I'll get that because I haven't released that sticker at all or shared it anywhere. So I'll show you guys here. Y'all get a preview.
Oh, cool. Yay. First. That's awesome.
Yay.
If anybody has any questions, we have 15 minutes left.
That's right.
Please type them in the chat now. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. Ginger and I have not talked about what we're doing next week. So we'll figure that out in the next couple of days, and then we will let you know everywhere. So please follow Ginger, myself, and Evelyn on Instagram, and join our Facebook groups and subscribe if you haven't already.
Okay. And Kim is Affordably Crafty on everything. I am Yarn Geek on everything.
And Evelyn
is the Pink Sheep Designs on everything.
Yes.
Pink Sheep Designs. Yep.
Yes. I was the Pink Sheep on YouTube, and then I realized like that doesn't make sense. It needs to be Pink Sheep Design. Here you go.
Oh my God, I love that.
Oh, I love that.
So it's our hooks. It's our hook design. So I really
Oh
wanted
my-
something that was like very, very branded of like our style of hook.
And when are you coming out with those stickers? When are they going to be available?
I need to take a picture and just post them. I just haven't, like you have things where I have other things that I'm posting about, and
Yeah.
I want a shirt and a mug in that, like yesterday.
So yes.
Oh
and
my God.
my plan is to have them as my Facebook page right now actually has a preview of those shirts because I did mock them up already. They're just not, I just haven't released them. And so those are, if you go to my actual Facebook page, just facebook.com/pinksheepdesigns with an S, that's the only one that has an S on the end. And you scroll through, I think it's just a couple posts back. There's some photos of these mocked up on, because my goal, I did these like this because I felt like they'd look better as a sticker with the black background instead of a white background.
Oh, yeah.
So that's why I did the kind of rainbow fade. So they were a little more on brand.
Did you do it in a black t-shirt?
No, so that's the thing. On the t-shirts, it's going to be a black outline for everything, and it's going to be on my brighter colored shirts. So it would be the black outline with, and I can try it with the rainbow, but this was harder to try to figure out how that would translate onto the shirt.
Yeah.
But I can try it on a black shirt, maybe.
I would love a black one.
Yeah, because there's like there's a lime green one that's going to have the black outline, and like other ones, because that felt, I don't want it to be too dark, because again, I had to be like, okay, how can I
all right,
right.
the two? But I will try to
fine.
do that for you, Kim.
Could it be black on the mug?
Well, and that's the thing. So the outline's going to be black no matter what. The outline of everything would be black.
Okay.
And then I just have to put it on the shirts. And then I just had 2 other of my stickers so that you guys can see them. So I have the hooked.
Can't hold on a second. Hold on.
Yeah.
Let me make you big. 1 second.
It's freaking awesome.
Hold on. Can I make you
Yeah, I'm gonna need a bunch of those.
this one?
So I have
Nope, won't do that one. This one?
2. Oh, that's you.
Nope. Hold on. Sorry. Is that a little bigger? Is that better?
I don't know. But this is I have 2 skin tones in the hooked design, which I loved because I was actually able to make that happen in Procreate. And these are in Bonfire as t-shirts and stuff too, but they're in my shop as well. And I have 2 different skin tones, and I also have just the black outline, which people have used. Actually, the black outline is cool if you're putting it on. A lot of people put them on their drinks. So there's the black outline sticker on my mug.
Oh, I love that.
So you can use it on like a mug or something. And
Yeah.
I use Sticker Mule, which is amazing because their quality is out of the park. Yeah. And so people comment all the time in my reviews that the stickers are so well made. And that's all thanks to Sticker Mule because their quality is just great. And then the last one, it's my Labyrinth love because I love the Labyrinth and I had to do like an ode to the Labyrinth. So that's the Labyrinth sticker. And that's on t-shirts and stuff too. But it's just been so fun. Like that's been a whole other thing. And I never saw myself being able to design and do that kind of design work. So that's been really fun this year.
Yeah, that's really exciting.
Okay, great.
I love all those. You're inspiring me. I just have my regular Yarn Geek logo on everything, and it's like boring.
I like your sheep.
Yeah, I do too. And I think it's really because I was the same way. I was like, nobody's gonna want. I can't really draw. Like I have to use inspiration. So I'll usually pull a whole bunch of different like flash designs or like clip art designs, and I'll use those as like my base. So like I may pull the idea for the hand from one piece of clip art, and then I may pull the idea for these from another piece, and then I'll like change them as much as I can. But I have to have something to start with because I can't just freehand everything. That's difficult for me.
Yeah, I can't freehand anything. My daughter Veronica made my logo, my Yarn Geek logo for me.
I mean, I made our logo, Affordably Geeky, but it's not like anything super elaborate. I love it, but it's not super elaborate.
Yeah.
It is beautiful.
Yes.
Okay.
So, gosh, this hours went by really, really fast.
I was thinking that. I was like, oh, we're already getting over.
Well, let me tell you, if you want to be on another live,
Anytime.
here
It's
anytime,
fun.
and also the yarn hookers anytime.
Yeah, let me know. I mean, because I really do this. I love this because I don't, we don't get out a lot, and it's just us. And at some point, I would love to have like some kind of in-person thing, especially with the group of this community that I have with the testers. They've already been talking about it and doing like Zoom stuff, but I feel like this being live and like really getting to share stuff with people and it's just great. I love it.
Yeah.
So anytime, just let me know because
All right.
And I don't want to be like, oh, let me like bust in and
watch out if you say anything.
what I mean.
That's how Ginger got this gig.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I love it. I wouldn't ever want to encroach upon something that you guys have created, but I love it. And
yeah,
I've enjoyed getting to chat with you guys.
Oh, yes, me too.
And I have plenty to say. So
I know. I love it. Yeah, I don't think we would ever get tired of be out of things to talk about.
No, and I feel like it's, I know this one was more about me, but there's so much else that, I love getting to talk about other stuff. So that's why I'm like, if I came back on, it wouldn't have to be me as a feature. I can just, give the 2 cents on things.
We can talk about
stuff. Sales. Yeah, I can talk stuff and sales and
yarn. Yarn.
New yarn. Yeah, that would be awesome.
Well, tonight on the Yarn Hookers, we are talking about organization.
Hold on. So, Evelyn, what's the Yarn Hookers?
What do you mean?
What is the Yarn Hookers?
Are you asking to see if I know?
Do you know what it is?
Yes.
Oh, me?
Okay, just checking.
Yeah, because that's your live. That's another live YouTube cast. And it's Ginger, you and one other person or 2 other people or?
2 other people.
2 other people.
Melanie from Hook to the Left and Julie the Whippy Chick.
Cool. Yeah.
Who is also known as the Naughty Hooker.
Okay.
Those shorts are hilarious. You need to watch those.
Those shorts. Yeah.
Dying, laughing, almost peeing my pants. Funny.
Look up the Whippy Chick on Instagram.
Will do right now.
And she is the Naughty Hooker.
Yes.
Kim has a lot of help today. You have a lot of help today.
There you go.
Yes, she does.
Oh, I'm following her.
Awesome.
Yeah,
awesome.
I need to watch some of her stuff now.
I'm sorry I interrupted you. Go ahead. The Yarn Hookers are talking about organization tonight on whose channel?
Yeah, all sorts of yarn organization and different ways. I mean, we can get pretty creative.
Yeah.
As yarn collectors. And I tell you, I found some really creative ways to help you organize your yarn that I'll be talking about tonight.
Yeah.
Which channel?
The Yarn Geek.
On your channel. Okay, cool.
Yep.
Let's see.
And it's at 4 Central.
Awesome. What is that, Eastern?
That's
5
Eastern. Yeah. And what have you got going on this week, Kim? I totally can't hear you.
Oh. Hold on. How about now?
Yes.
Okay. I was going to say, I'm not the only one who did this, but I did bum rush her on the live to come on. I appreciate that you like the live. That's awesome. So my channel this week, let's see, I have, hold on a second.
He's being very helpful today.
Very, very helpful.
I'm sorry. Let me
That's
just
okay.
Cut out the kid chatter. So I am going to be posting some awesome videos this week. I have found some new Dollar Tree yarn that I can't wait to share. If InShot will be nice to me, because I tried to share it all day yesterday and it was not working. So we'll try again today. And then I also have some hauls. I have to film some hauls. So the Facebook awesomeness that I sent you. Evelyn, what color do you think would go best with lime green?
I mean, probably any other neon color if you wanted to go super colorful or like black. Yeah, it would probably be like a neon, I would say like lime green and bright blue, or lime green and black, or lime green and maybe like a bright purple.
Okay.
I wanted to go
So,
super colorful.
Some
Yeah.
of the stuff in that is like a bulky on the side of super bulky 100% wool, and there's like 3 skeins in lime green, and there's 2 or 3 that are just ready to be dyed.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to figure out what color I want to put with those, because that'll be awesome.
And that's going to be, do you go live to do those, or do you like pre-film?
Well, I have on occasion, but usually I just make a video.
Cool. What do you guys use for your videos? Just like your phones, or do you use your?
I use my phone. Yeah, go ahead.
I have my phone, and I also have a GoPro.
Okay.
Every once in a while I'll use my GoPro, but for the most part I'm using my phone. I have a Samsung Galaxy 21 Ultra. So it's like the newest of that. It has an excellent camera, and I use the InShot editing app.
Oh, cool.
Just an important point. You can't go live from your phone on YouTube until you have 1,000 followers. Or 1,000 subscribers, unless you use, I think you can use StreamYard and do it though, right? But you can't just go like live. The button's not going to be there, so don't look for it.
Cool. But you can do it like on your desktop.
Yes. Just not. You can, that's one of the weird things you get when you have 1,000 people. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I was excited because I could like go live if I wanted to at a store.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and I think that's why right now I do most of my lives on Instagram. But I have started now making it a practice to download those and put them on Facebook and YouTube, so that if there's people,
that's a great idea.
Who aren't on Instagram, they can check it out.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that kind of the aspect ratio is different, but most of the people who listen to my videos do it because they're listening to videos. So I'm like,
I'm not
I
watching
don't really
it.
care.
Yeah.
We did film my newest video on YouTube was filmed the right way, so it was filmed like this way. For a tutorial about the newest stitch that I'm using in my newest top, which is just the HDC into the back loop only. So he helped me film that one, and he was like, no, this is going to be the right one because it's only going on YouTube, so we're going to do it this way. So that should be a good one.
Nice.
That's awesome. Shh, quiet there. Although, look at that colorful poncho you're wearing.
Yeah.
That is neon. That's cool.
That's awesome.
Ooh.
Look at that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Neon.
Someone asked if you're going to have a Yarn Hookers channel.
Ooh. We should, you know what? We should make, I need to make a Yarn Hookers channel and an Affordably Geeky channel.
Yeah. I know, it's like, how many channels?
Oh, God, that's just a lot of work. We already just talked about the fact that I need to make a new Instagram.
Yeah. Well,
So we were having a little chitty chat last night, and one of my other things that I love to post on Instagram is my nature photography.
Yeah.
I mean, don't lambaste me on my photography because I know that you're a pro on that.
Have you seen my photography Instagram? It's got like less than 700 followers.
Thanks.
but
my
they're
main
great
Instagram
pictures.
has less than 700 followers.
No, I'm just saying because the comparative. So I've been on Instagram as the same amount of time.
Big breath, big breath.
And sheep has grown so much, and photography's like, I'm just gonna chill here forever because I don't put the time into it. Like it's a little portfolio, but I don't.
mean, I feel like I love the stuff I take, and a lot of it's just in my backyard. Like I'm not going anywhere fancy. But I do notice that the more and more I'm like, all right, photography photo. Now the next 2 have to be something fiber related, and then now I can post a photography photo, and like I have a backlog of photography I want to put up.
Yeah.
So I think it's to the point where I need to make a separate profile.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
And if you're doing it a lot, I think that's the thing.
Yeah.
For me, my photography one struggles because I'm not doing sessions right now. So like, unless I'm just posting old stuff, I don't do nature photography. I do portrait photography. And so if I'm not doing portraits, then I have nothing new to share. So that's been the struggle with that one.
Sure.
So yeah. So I get it. It's
Sure. I have 6 Instagrams.
Oh my God. Yeah, no. No, thanks.
6 Instagrams and no time for Facebook. I wonder why.
I'm not a huge Facebook.
It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
I can't get it into my head, but I try.
I've been trying harder lately on my Facebook.
Yeah, you got the right name now.
I know, I do. Yeah. Yep, everywhere.
That's really good.
Trying my best, guys.
You are.
Well-
and I want to thank you so much for hanging out with us today. And I'm sure we'll hang out again sometime in the future because this was super fun.
Sometime soon.
Yeah.
But it is almost 11 o'clock. So we are going to head out to Mel Hook to the Left's Live. And we'll be seeing Ginger later on the Yarn Geeks at 4 p.m. Central Time.
Mhm.
And again, go check out all of Evelyn's links down in the description box to follow and join and do all those fun things.
Definitely. You guys will be happy after you try her patterns because they're awesome.
And Ginger and I will see you guys next week at 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Affordably Geeky. Have a creative week, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.